Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Truth Quest. My name is Moriarity. I will be your host, and we're going to go on a quest for truth together. Yes, we certainly are, because here at the Truth Quest, we're just downrange of strange, where the outrageous is contagious, and the paranormal is the new normal. Hello, Edward Taylor. Good to see you here. Okay, I'm going to share this out to my friends on Facebook so they can come on over and chat along and have a lot of fun. How's that sound? We are live. Always the same message. There you go. This is episode 113. Is it 113 or? Yeah, I think it's 113. Lucky 113. How do you like that? 113 of these babies. And if you haven't watched all of them, I encourage you to watch them all. If you want to. If you got time to spare, there's some interesting tidbits along the way. And today we're going to talk about some very interesting things, folks. Very, very interesting indeed. I saw something that was very unusual today. Very, very unusual. And we'll get into that in a little bit here. But yes, very unusual. And I'm not sure. I hope Dark Brain is nearby, because it might need his photographic expertise to figure this one out. All right. All right. Let's see. Share to page. Sharing this to my Truth Quest with Moriarity Facebook page. So there you go. And I post things there from time to time, mostly just the show, usually. All righty then. Well, let's get back over to Operation Shutdown. Yeah, fun show. Yeah, we're always having fun up here, shooting through outer space, and trying to find up. I bring the dogs in out of the cold, and what do? I told them I had a show to do. You know, they've been around the English language quite a long time. I think they can figure it out. So, yeah. Okay. It looks like Zoso Dude's on right now, too. Yeah. So, he's always a cool guy. He shows up in the chat sometimes. He was last time. It was fun. All right. Well, we got that all taken care of. Let's take a look at what we got going on today, friends. What do we have today? That's the question. I don't know if you heard about this, but the Chinese moon rover found something, and they're describing it as a hut. It looks like a hut. And oh, there it is. Okay. So it's right over here. Check this out. And they're sending the rover to go look at it. This is all over the news. You might have seen this. But I think this is, hello, NASA. Are you paying attention yet? This Chinese space station is fairly new at this stuff. And look what they're doing. They see an anomalous object in the distance, and they want to go investigate. Isn't that what we put that stuff up there for? You know, the Chinese are, you know, they're doing it smart, I gotta say. Now we're gonna increase the brightness a little bit here and increase the dark shadows a little bit here. It's speculated that this might actually be just two wall slabs near each other. And if we adjust the contrast, because it gets rid of the fuzzy edges, you can see it might just be two kind of like walls or two pillars next to each other. They might not actually connect. It's kind of hard to say. It's just not clear enough. So they're sending the rover. Isn't that exciting? I think that's what we should be doing. And I've said that numerous times, that these rovers on Mars, especially, we've got like what, half a dozen of them up there now or something, at least 3 or 4. They always go years beyond their intended missions. So I say loop them back around and look at some of the anomalies they caught so they can verify them or debunk them. You know, why don't you let, you know, students operate the thing for a while and let them decide what to do? They'd probably think of something better than NASA. It seems to only know how to cover things up. They'd say, oh, no, we're not going to go over by that hut looking thing. We're going to go the opposite direction and look at this little particle of dirt here. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Hello, Catherine Weiss. Welcome to the program. Yeah. So there it is, folks. What do you think? Do you think that's a hut? And do you think that they're going to find something? Maybe they'll go there, knock on the door. Hello? Anybody home? And they might hear some rustling, you know, rustling around inside. Maybe not used to getting guests, you know, especially a Chinese robot knocking on the door. But if indeed it is a hut, and if it does have someone in it, I think I know who's in it. What do you think about that? Another Walmart. It could be, yeah, or hey, we wondered what happened to all those photo mats. It looks about the same size as a photo mat. You'd have to be a certain age to know what a photo mat is. It's a little hut that you brought your film to, and they would develop it. They'd actually send it off site and have it couriered back, and then they'd have your pictures there. But the person in the photomat always could see your pictures, and that was just a known thing. So, yeah. No more photomat. Just think of all those people who used to work there. They're all out of work now. What do you think about that? Do you think it's a hut? What do you guys think it is? I don't know. I think it's rather interesting. It's so interesting that they're actually going to it. I think that's the best part about it right there. You know? Yeah. You know what we're going to do? We're going to blast this picture to see if we can find anything lurking in the skies above the far side of the moon. The dark side, they call it. Okay, here's the whole picture. All right. And so there we go. Now we're going to do this. And what do we find? Nothing. Nothing in the sky. Anyway, by doing that brightening technique. So there it is. We'll zoom in on it a little bit more. There it is. It's kind of blurry. You know, you'd think they would send a camera up there that would be able to get better detail, you know? Hello, Abby. Yeah. You'd think you'd get better detail, but it is what it is, and we'll see. They said it would take a couple months maybe to get there from where it is. It goes very slow, and I'm not sure, but it might only be able to travel during the daytime or when there's light for the solar panels to activate it. I'm not sure about that, though. I'm not an expert on Chinese rovers. But yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. The Chinese rover is going to investigate like the first anomaly they saw. That's a good sign, you know. Wouldn't that be ironic if we could trust the Chinese space program more than NASA? Wouldn't that, I mean, it wouldn't take much to be better than NASA, to be honest with you, with all the whistleblowers that have come out. Hello, Mud Rabbit. Good to see you here. Zoso. Yeah, Zoso's on too. Man, we gotta stagger our shows because then I'm missing Zoso dude. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, the books that we gave away on Monday, I packaged them up and I sent them out to the winners, Abby and BPD Demand. They'll both be getting Popple and Popple's Place, fine books, children's books, $16.95 each value in the bookstores, and endorsed by the famous Jeff Foxworthy. Oops, can you see that? It's wigging out. There it is. I guess you'll have to freeze frame it. There you go. And so those should be at your doorsteps to the two winners by Monday. They said by Monday. So we'll see. So let me know. Hi there, Mud Rabbit. Yeah. All righty then. So yeah, the Chinese rover is doing its thing. It's doing what NASA should have been doing the whole time, right? There was that woman that was it? No, it was a guy. He was going to like fix some of the equipment they had in the dark room, and this enlisted man came in there and throwed some photos down in front of him and said, "Check this out." This was back in the 60s or 70s, and he said, "Look what we found on the far side of the moon." And there was domed structures, like broken dome structures, and all kinds of towers and very anomalous looking things. And the guy he was showing it to got really kind of afraid because he knew it was, compartmentalized information. He wasn't supposed to be hearing this. And he started worrying. And I think he died just recently, that guy, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, hey, BBP Demand, back by popular demand. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Demand, we sent the books out, so you're going to get them by Monday, it looks like, according to the tracking number. And I did send you an email with the tracking number, and I called Abby and left a message with the tracking number. So that's what happened. So I hope you got the message. And so by Monday should be getting to wherever they were sent to. And so yeah, and maybe we'll be giving away some more books. We'll see how it goes. So another thing, friends, this is something that was mildly interesting, I guess. And that is this guy here. NASA administrator suspended after claims of unprecedented alien invasion until 2025. So apparently he was, maybe relieved of his duties after he was suspended. So they said, come over here, buddy, you're done. You can't say stuff like that. Now it's not like he has intimate information. It was just his opinion, noticing that space is being weaponized. He claims all of a sudden. Well, I got news for you. It's not all of a sudden. It's always been that way. When they formed NASA and said, okay, we're not going to put weapons in space. We're only going to have NASA. It's going to be a public thing. We're going to do things to increase our knowledge. Well, do you really think the military said, okay, we're not going to put weapons in space? No, that's what they do. They put weapons everywhere. Space is no different. Been happening forever. So this guy thinks that since we're, I guess the space arms race is really taking off because of what China got from that open server in someone's closet. A certain Secretary of State, I won't say her name, but I'll tell you her initials. Hillary Clinton. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know about this. It's a sensational. So he thinks that by us weaponizing space, it's going to increase the chances of an alien invasion happening. Listen, if an alien force wanted this planet, they could have taken it thousands of years ago, which I think the reptilians did, or about to regain it back from them. But it's not a good planet to be putting a long-lasting society, because we got hurricanes, we got earthquakes, the ground is shifting below you, and you got hurricanes and volcanoes. For an advanced civilization, they want someplace that's going to be, if they're going to build something, they're going to want it to last, right? So I don't think they would want Earth. It's just too tumultuous, and there's too many bugs. There's too many bugs, and all that kind of stuff. So that's that little weird story popping up. They're always trying to, put this into the public awareness, this ideally a sensational picture of people running and, oh, the saucers are whatever. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't know. So there you go. I keep finding that one craft that doesn't come in very good in focus. It's at an angle. And yeah. Yep. So I was watching, here's something kind of strange, friends. I was watching this video of this NASA feed of the ISS, International Space Station. And they're filming Earth, and it's obviously nighttime. And then all of a sudden, breaking over the horizon is a very bright object. And initially I thought it was the sun. But now take a look at this. There it is. Look at this. Okay, so what is this, right? It's not the sun. The sun would be round, and it would be illuminating the earth below it. But what is this extremely bright thing. It's oval shaped, right? Is that weird? What do you think about that? It's very strange. So let's go ahead and take the brightness out of this one. Okay. And we'll increase the contrast and see what kind of shape it is. Look, that is not a round ball. It's not the sun. It almost looks like a saucer shape. Or maybe it has something to do with the Aurora Borealis. Maybe it's part of the solar ejection or something. But it was rising up as if it was the sun, but it was just giving this. Now, maybe if Dark Brain's in the audience, I thought, well, maybe it's the angle of the camera lens that would make the sun appear that way. But then again, it's not illuminating the earth below it. Look at this. See, it's still in nighttime. And this lit up part is the Aurora Borealis. So what is this? You know? Does anybody else see that as strange? Let me check the chat here. See what y'all chatting about. It's very odd. It moved very rapidly. I had to pause it, but it definitely was not round. Isn't that weird? It's super bright. Don't know what it is. You know, when Bob Lazar was talking about these craft, he said when they're fully charged up, when they're bending gravity, light bends around itself and it appears to be a big ball of light. So these craft can appear like they're illuminating lights. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it looks like the Aurora Borealis is coming from it. That's what I was thinking. That's right. Yeah, it could be backed by popular demand. But the footage was, it was going up as if it was the sun, because the craft is going forward and the thing is coming up. But it's as bright as it is, it's not illuminating the earth. Isn't that weird? And a lot of people, when they see these extraterrestrial lit craft, they say it doesn't act like normal light. It's very strange. It's very strange. It doesn't really create shadows or anything. It's like a living light of some kind. Because I think photons, they've said that photons can change directions. So therefore, photons have some sort of ability to move around on their own. So Venus reflecting on the ocean. Venus. That's an interesting thought. I don't think Venus would appear that bright. It would be just a little dot in the distance. And it looks like it's actually going in front of the planet here. So I don't know. I thought I'd, bring that up today because I think it's an interesting thing. Hello, free range brain. Yeah, interesting comment. Thanks. Yeah, and now just so you can and while this is up, why don't we do this too and do our other thing where we brighten everything to the max to see if we can find anything else. And this will also show you just look how bright that thing is. It's incredibly bright, whatever it is. And maybe it is the sun, but I got another picture of the sun. and you'll see the difference. Look at that shape. That's unenhanced. I didn't do anything. So that's how the screenshot was. So we'll show you what the sun looks like from the same channel, the same feed, just a later point in the video where it shows the sun, and it's round. It's not oval shaped. There it is. Yeah, look at that. Look at how beautiful that atmosphere looks, huh? Isn't that cool? Let's make it a little bigger. So yeah, it's round, all right, or nearly round. The other one was, it didn't have all these rays coming off of it, and it was like oval shaped or disc shaped. So yeah, I thought that was very interesting. Don't you think? Hey, Austin Morris, greetings from Knoxville, Tennessee. Hello there, welcome to the program. Yeah, isn't that strange? So yeah, so you compare that to this other one, right? So you got that. Well, let's do our little manipulation to that one too. See if we can. Let's do, first of all, we'll take away the brightness. We'll increase the contrast and find the shape is not oval. It's relatively round with lots of shiny things coming off of it in every direction. Okay, just like you draw a sun as a kid, right? But now let's pump up the brightness. And look how blasty that is, and well, that doesn't look like it's lighting up the land very much either. I guess it's kind of starting to. Maybe it's the height of the space station is seeing the sun before that part of the Earth sees it. Maybe, I don't know. But there you go. And now this other one. We'll go back to the other one now. And compare it. And it just doesn't look like the same type of thing to me. So I don't know what that is there. Who knows? It's another mystery. Keep finding more mysteries. More and more and more. There's more mysteries than you can shake a stick at, right? They really are. So there you go. That's what the sun looks like. And the other one that doesn't look like the sun, oval-shaped sun or bright thing. It's just bizarre. It's freaky. So I don't know. It's just rather freaky, I would say. I would just say that. If that's looking north, it can't be the sun. Yeah, I'm not sure what direction it's facing. It's hard to see land masses with all the cloud cover and whatnot. Sometimes it will tell you where it is on the bottom. Yes, that is a beautiful auroral display. We're getting hit with a lot of them. There's a lot of them up there, and the International Space Station is catching a lot of them. Here's another one that's pretty darn cool. Is that it right here? There it is. Look at that. I mean, there's a ton of these, and they're all different shapes. mostly in the green hue coloring. So there it is. And we can mess with these too to see if we find anything. This is what I do, folks. It's not that hard. You just crank up the levels, see if you can see anything. And I don't really see anything. But look at that amazing invisible barrier we have protecting our planet. Absolutely amazing. From all the life-harming rays from the sun and ejecta, and all kinds of stuff from the sun. Yeah, the sun was out today, and I opened up my drapes. I usually have them closed, and I was like soaking up the sun, getting some vitamin D. I think I did get a little bit. Oh my goodness, Catherine Weiss, thank you so much for the super chat. All right. Well, oh, no barking, dogs. They want to be on the show, I think. Oh, see, anyone like dogs? Anyone looking for a couple dogs? Thank you very much, Catherine Weiss, for that super chat. So what that means is now we're going to be able to afford to send another book out. This time we're going to do just one book, Popple. It's the first book in the series. And so we're going to do one book at a time this time. All right. So the two people that won on Monday, you guys got lucky. You got both of them. But now it's going to be a little tougher for people to get both of them. They'll have to win twice. Cute Trendsetter, hello there. Yeah, Truth Quest family, the Truth Questers, yes. Here we are, questing. And we're going to give away this book here. We're going to give this book away. Let me get my camera working here. There we go. And it's not, Bruce Holmes thought it was glass because you could see through it. That's just because there's green here. But so yeah, I sign them on the inside. See? It's my autograph. And they're fun books. They're very brightly illustrated. I illustrated them myself. And all the illustrations were done by hand and then scanned in the computer and digitized on the Confuser. So normally $16.95 and endorsed by the famous Jeff Foxworthy. He endorsed the books because they help the children's hospitals. So if you want one of these books, and there have been so many young people who've read these books, who have had these books, and who've told both myself and the author, Judy Johnson, that Popple and Popple's Place were their favorite books. And that just blows me away because there are a lot of children's books. And the average child has like a lot of children's books. So for them to pick these as their favorite, that was like amazing, amazing. So why don't we, let's see here. I think I need to put the call-in information on. Do you guys want to do it through the Zoom, or you want to do it through the email? What do you think? In the chat, put a 1 for the email. 1 for email. And then 2 for the Zoom, for doing the contest. All right, those are our choices until I get a burner phone. Okay, we're gonna copy that and paste it. So here it is, pasted there. And the passcode is 397973, and that it's not a 0 after the 3. It's a capital O for One Tap Mobile. It always does that for me. I don't know why it does that. I'll have to ask Mud Rabbit or Dark Brain sometime to explain that to me. Hello, Mad Podge. Yeah, so a 1 for email to be the certain number emailer, or Zoom. Which one should I do? All right. Let's see here. I better get my participants window open here so I can see who's calling in if they are. So feel free to call in if you want. We might be using Zoom, depends on how, maybe we'll just do the email. Oh, 2. 2 means Zoom. Okay, 1 for email, 2 for Zoom. We got 1 for Zoom already. Yeah, that did work out because we could talk to the people then. It's much more interactive. Well, we got 1, 2, but it's coming from Mud Rabbit, so that counts for a lot because she's like a super dynamic, awesome modular mod. Modtastic. Oh, Catherine says email. Now we're all tied up. Uh-oh, now what am I going to do? Might have to toss a coin. Flip a coin. Flip. Operation Shutdown says email. All right, I guess we'll do email. We got two ones, unless we get a couple of 2s to write, pretty soon here. Well, either way, you can call it in Zoom if you want to. And there's that other ship I keep seeing, and I'll show you that too in a little bit here. Yeah, trying to get some call-ins. Yeah. Yeah, feel free to call in. But yeah, maybe we should do it email. Yeah. So the third person to email me saying contest, just say contest in the header of your email, and it's hotgamesandpuzzlesllc@gmail.com. I know it's a lot to type, isn't it? I should shorten it, huh? Uh-oh. Are you confused, Mud Rabbit? Oh, sure. You can join the chat. Yeah. We're not doing the Zoom. We're doing it on the email. And I'm going to check my email right now to see if we already have a winner. Right? Maybe we can fluctuate. Next time we'll do it Zoom. We'll just bop back and forth. Where is my email? There it is. Oh, yeah. And I got an email from Joe Magia. about this airplane with some alleged UFOs flying next to it. So let's see here. Nope, no emails yet. No emails yet. So maybe we'll say the second person to email. Second person wins the book. It's a great book. It's all written in verse. It's very well written by Judith C. Johnson and illustrated by myself and endorsed by the famous Jeff Foxworthy, who's a super nice guy. So there you go. We'll keep that open here and we'll see how it goes. Was waiting to hear the punchline. You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, let's mosey on back to here. I'm going to check the old email again. We're bopping back and forth here. And no emails yet. Ah, Peggy. I'll get the ball rolling. She says, okay, contest. I'll get the ball rolling. So Peggy, Operation Shutdown. Operation Shutdown wins. That's the second one. Well, there you go. So Operation Shutdown, you need to email me your address and phone number if you want to, but mainly your address. And BBP, backed by popular demand. I didn't have your last name to send, so I just put your two kids' first names and BBP demand in parentheses after it. I hope it gets to you. Let me know. Are you on social media at all to send you videos of some weird or UFO type stuff? Yeah, you can send them to my email, or I have a Facebook page or Facebook. I'm on Facebook usually. I got kicked off of Twitter. I have a Telegram, but I cannot access it because my iPad's full and I can't. I don't know how to. I don't want to lose anything that's on it, so and I don't want to put it on a cloud. So I'm kind of like tech stalled on that one. So there you go. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. BBP demand. He'll probably get there. It's got the address. So, so there it is. Hot Games and Puzzles. Yep. So Operation Shutdown 1, and so I'm gonna write that down. And we'll get that sent out to you. The Popple book, the very first book in the Popple series. Popple. Operation Shutdown. All right. And it really is a great little book. And if you want to hear the book, I actually read it on my kids' channel, 3 a.m. Studios. So you can hear me read it, and both books. Jerry, you got your Twitter canceled too over the few years? Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even want to get back on. It's like, why would you want to go to a place that doesn't want you? You know, it's they're they're ruining what the good thing that they had, but they just don't realize that they're bad people, I think. Yeah, it wouldn't go on my computer. Telegram would not go on my computer. I had to do it. The only place it would go was my iPad. Those iPads are just worthless, you know. Only reason I got it was because I was helping a friend out and I was going to need it to make sales calls, but I never went and made sales calls. It didn't come to fruition. Oh, okay. Let me check and see if anyone's calling in. Nope, no one's calling in yet. All right, well, maybe now would be a good time to talk about this other thing. So, okay. Now, check this out. Let me get rid of some of these. Get rid of them. Oh, there it is. Okay. So here's another amazing picture. Yeah, this isn't the one I thought it was. So if you reset it, but look at that atmosphere. It really gets pumped up when you pump it up. But there's nothing there, you know, unless there's something behind this little logo here. Amazing Space, that's the channel, or Space Videos. It's the name of the channel. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. I just love these views of Earth, and the footage is moving, so it's very moving. So yeah, it's very cool. So there you go. And so I keep finding this other ship here, friends. And I found it again. And here's a zoomed in view of it. Get rid of that. And it's this angled craft here with something right next to it. In a previous picture, it would look like two separate things. Now it looks like they're connected. But this is a very fuzzy view. So, and again, this is part of the ISS. It's extremely illuminated. This is in the far distance away from it, not lit up at all. And it was not even showing up on the picture until I brightened it up. And it was the same one that I caught the other day. And those other ones, it did not have something near it. So it's in the same relative spot that it was. Maybe it's just in the same locked orbit as the space station. And maybe it's like some backup space station, or maybe it's like a derelict space station. Who knows? But it looks like it has things around it, and there's some colored lights. And look, if we brighten this up a bit, there's some color, like a red light here and some blue lights. That looks like maybe some green here, but some kind of color. What is that? I don't know what that is. So that's an ongoing mystery. Just a very ongoing mystery. Starship Trooper. Yeah, it could be a Muamua, huh? Maybe. Maybe they're checking it out. It's all the little things next to it. Although it hightailed its way out. Well, of course, they could tell us anything, right? Starship Trooper, yeah. There you go. A digital artifact? Well, why would it keep showing up in the same spot when they're filming out of the back of the space station? It's always It's never in front of it. It's always in the same spot at the same angle and the same thing. I mean, it's, I think we ruled out it being like a chip on the glass of the craft, because these cameras are mounted on the outside of the ship, so outside of the space station. So that can't be what it is. It's something in the distance. We just don't know what it is. We just don't know. We just don't know. And so I got another picture of it here that is the same one. I don't think that's the same one. Is it? No, it's a different one. Okay, this one is just brightened up a little more. So there's definitely something there, friends. What it is, I don't know. But it looks like one of these modular spacecraft you see with different components all connected together. And then something's down here. Like I said in previous pictures, it was separated. These two were separated. Now they're kind of connected, or it looks like they're connected. Yeah, it's just another anomaly. So that's what that is. A ghost station. Yeah, the mystery ship. It's the mystery ship. Maybe Zoso Dude. Maybe Space Zoso Dude is running it. Harry Mudd from the original Star Trek, trader in illegal goods. Yeah, good one, Jerry. I like that. There's no evidence that it's not. Yeah. There you go. There you are. Yeah, it's another, it's not as dramatic as the other one that I found, which is, going to be a hard one to beat. And I've been looking. And it's slim pickings, let me tell you. Slim pickings. Very slim pickings. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So here is this little rover. It's a moon rover from China. It's China's moon rover. And this is the little guy that caught that picture of that hut, and he's going to go take a look at it. Because the Chinese space station actually has people with curiosity, unlike NASA. Oh, look, there's an anomaly over there. It's been pointed out by numerous people. No, we're going to go this other direction. China goes right towards the hut. We're going to check out the hut. Did you guys hear about this? The people who came in a little later? About the hut that they found? Yes, the China space, the moon rover, the Chinese moon rover took a photograph off in the distance, or fuzzy off in the distance picture of what looks like a little hut. It looks like a little hut. And I'll show you what it looked like. All right. It looked like this. There it is. There it is. And we're going to zoom on out, zoom back. And this is how far away the little hut is. So we're going to return to, so here's what the way it looks when you get it off the intranet. Maybe they're not giving us the crispest picture that they can take because it's not very crisp. I can crank up the sharpness, helps a little bit, and we can just play with the levels a little bit to see what we can coax out of here. But yeah, we'll zoom in on that. So this is a breakthrough in rover etiquette. I mean, it's like China, the first thing they see that's anomalous, we're going to go check it out. Whereas NASA even has one of their rovers is called Curiosity, and it did not look into not even a single anomaly that was pointed out by people that it had seen and taken pictures of. It doesn't go back to check them. It doesn't do anything, and its name is Curiosity. It has zero curiosity. So that's why I like what the Chinese are doing there. I don't like what the Chinese do in other areas, but at least they have some common sense for their space program. Yeah, it might be two slabs of wall-like structures or pillars. That's what I'm thinking. And I'll show you why I think that. Because if we increase the contrast here, it starts to not look like a hut. I'm not totally convinced that those two are touching, but they might be at an angle. It might be, I don't know. So I'm glad that they're going to go check it out. I mean, you should be able to figure out where where the rover is and where this thing is in relation to that, and then go on Google Moon and find it. It shouldn't be that difficult to do. I have not tried that yet. I just thought of it. Hey, Woody, how you doing? Woody's here now. All we need is Buzz Lightyear. We'll have the whole gang. That's a cool name, Woody. Like the old cars with the wooden sides on them back in the 40s and 50s. Woody. Okay, I'm looking at the chat here. In lunar conditions, angular things get worn down and smothered out by meteoroids over millennia of time. Yeah, I'd say that's probably true. Hey, Green Dragon 64. So there you go. Yeah, it's an anomaly, and I just love the idea that they're going to go check it out. It's like, how many frustrated employees at NASA are looking at this and going, what? These newbies are doing what we should be doing. They're probably telling their bosses, we need to go check these things out. There's a rock, something that looks like a rat here, or something that looks like a giant spider in the front of this cave. What could it be? All these pictures from Mars. And here, this cheap little radio-controlled, probably 15-pound rope. I don't know how heavy it is. It does not look very heavy. It's amazing that it made it there. So congratulations to them for that achievement. And that's what it should be. Achieving things in space, and that should be a thing. And I guess it is starting to be. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Isn't that right? That is right. So, all right, we got one book given away already. And let me see here. I gotta find something. Okay, I think I found something here. Yeah, here is that original picture that I was going to show you, that I got that previous picture from. That angled, weird, lumpy looking spaceship that looks like potatoes stuck together. So I'll show you, this is the original picture. However, I've already brightened it to the point where the Earth is super bright. You see that? So it's right here, and it's at an angle, and it's always in this spot at this angle, and this, this apparatus of, solar panels and different arms and such of the space station. And this arm is always doing something with, it's holding this thing here. It's always doing something. And these solar panels aren't always here, but they're here now, and they just so happen to be obstructing the view partially of this thing. Now we're gonna zoom in on it so you can see it. As you can see, it's very faint, but it is there. And you can see how bright everything in the foreground is. If it was as close as the rest of this stuff, it would be super bright, but it's not. It's just lurking there in the darkness, and you can see all the pixelation here. So as you're looking at this, it's amazing we got what we got, okay? So see there, now here's what happens when you increase the size of the photograph. It's 72 DPI, we're gonna go to 300 dots per inch. We're not gonna change the size of the image, but it will blow it up. So now we have to scroll back and back up a little bit. Man, gotta back up some more, figure out where we are. Oh, that's the bottom. Oh, yeah. Look at how bright everything is now. See now, after we've added those pixels, now we can see it a little bit better. See, that is how we got that image to get coaxed out of there. And then I just took a screenshot of this. And there seems to be like some sort of a bluish blob here. I'm not sure what that is, but if I increase the contrast, it goes away. I'm not sure what that is from. But there it is. It's so something there. It's always in that. Now, sometimes it's not there. But most of the time it is there. So I don't know. It's definitely something, because when you zoom back, now you can clearly see where it is, but you can see how grossly bright everything else is. And there's also something over here that is just not as interesting as this, but it is something. So yeah, maybe we should just take a look at that thing. I think it's just a dot. It's just a small something. I don't know, maybe it's a star. I don't know. But I don't think it moves. So it might be another satellite or another something, because there's thousands of things in orbit The idea that we can't see hardly anything is amazing to me, because with how much stuff is actually up there. So there, let's zoom in on that. If there's anything there to coax out of that dot. It's 2 dots, okay. Yeah, I don't know what we can get from that. Oh, well, it looks like it's not just a round. It looks like it does have some kind of form to it. Whoops. You know? I'm going to try something. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, what that is. So there it is. Some more interesting stuff to think about. Very odd stuff. Just because we see something and we make a guess, we don't know what it is, you know? Who knows? That's why we want disclosure. You know, there should be a place where we can ask these questions. Hey, I found this on this live stream. What do you think this could be? Right? What is this thing way over here? Off in the distance, far above the planet. It's far above the planet. Probably further above the planet than the ISS, possibly. That'd be my guess. But yeah, that's how it goes. That's how you find these things. You just keep trying, and most of the time you find nothing. Sometimes you get lucky, and then you got a fuzzy image that you don't know what it is. So it's a lot of fun. Hey, Jacob Waters. Good to see you here. Yeah, very interesting. So it could be another spaceship that we found, or something else. You know, that hut, that hut is an interesting thing on the moon, that possible hut. They're calling it a hut. I think it's hilarious that they're calling it a hut. You know, if it was NASA, they would, oh, it's irresponsible to call it a hut. We're calling it an anomaly. And we're not going to look at it. We're more interested in this little piece of dirt over here in the opposite direction. Yeah, that's pretty much what they do. They're not very curious. They name their one of their rovers Curious, but they're not real curious at all about anything. You know, they airbrush a lot. They airbrush a lot. Yeah. Hut 1, 2. There you go, Abby. Yeah, there we go. There we are. All right, I can keep an eye and see if anyone calls in. So I hope you're all having a very, very nice night here on Wednesday. Garbage day here. Yeah, you're right, Jacob Waters. The moon is, as a whole, an anomaly. You're right. You are right about that. That's New Hampshire. That's for damn sure. That's New Hampshire. Sometimes I say New Hampshire when I mean to say for damn sure, because it rhymes. Because it rhymes. Okay. So here's something. Check this out. Wait a minute. I guess I got to open it up first, don't I? Yeah. And, you know, have you guys ever, I'm sure you've probably heard about, oh, hold on a second here. This might be what I was looking for. Yeah, okay, here is that same anomaly that I got the other day. Okay, that was highlighted on Monday's show, I believe. And so you can compare it to this one. Okay. Notice this is this is like a. These look like they're one piece here, and there's okay. Here we go. So there it is. That's from a couple days ago. You see these two things? They're not connected. Now they are. And there seemed to be something over here too. So that's the same object, and the solar panel is not like obstructing the view of the front of it. So it's off all on its own there. So very interesting, I would say. Hey, Dark Brain. Good to see you. Yeah, so that's from just the other day. On a different video from the same people, looking out the back of the space station. So you're not looking where you're going, you're looking where you've been as far as the Earth is going. But then this thing is tagging along just off in the distance, just far enough away so you can't really see it. But if you know how to brighten up an image, then you can find it. Like this. What is it? We don't know. But these two things here are separated here. See that? Or they appear to be. It's so far away and fuzzy, you know. But if we brighten it up, see that they're not close to each other. So I think they docked. So I think we got evidence of them docking here, these two craft here, because they seem to be connected now. So it looks like something's happening there. Maybe it's some Chinese, you know, I was looking up Chinese craft and all kinds of other craft. And also I have this, and I believe I've shown this before. But so this is what various different countries are admitting the types of things that they have, okay? I believe this is a Chinese, I could be wrong. It does look Chinese though, to me. So there it is. That's the type of thing that's up there. So, you know, if this thing was just connected over here to this, it would make a long thing like what we've seen. Yeah, I don't know. There's all sorts of space junk up there. These almost look like 55-gallon barrels, don't they? Repurposed. Hey, let's just use some 55-gallon barrels. Yeah. Good idea. It's going up in space. Yeah. Good idea. Well, I am glad that there's a lot of stuff happening with space right now. I mean, it should have been this way forever. I mean, we should have been to the moon 5 years after, or Mars 5 years after the moon publicly. I know secret space program did achieve that, but so there you go. You know, we got the best chat people, don't we? Everyone is so awesome. So thank you for all being here. Hello, Donna. You must get some sleep. Aw, well, I hope you have a good dream, Donna. I hope you have a really good dream. I hope everybody has a good dream. Good dreams are fun. You can do all kinds of things in your dreams. Each module about 12 to 15 feet in diameter. Oh, that'd be a much bigger barrel, wouldn't it? Yeah, I guess so. It would have to be bigger than that. Project Pegasus. Hey, Sapo. No, I don't think it's Project Pegasus. It's just a generic space station thing. The kind of stuff that's up there right now. Okay, there you go. Well, how do you like that? Oh, we got someone in the chat. Let's see. Be back by popular demand. We're going to let this gentleman in, Mr. Demand. And he's connecting his audio. Yeah. And if you remember correctly, he called in on Monday. And he's a new viewer, so thank you for being here. Appreciate it. And anybody can call in. It's always, this is your show too, people. So call right in.
Well, I mean, it's BBP. I mean, I called in last week or a couple days ago.
That's right. Here you are.
Yep.
You should get those books on Monday, it says.
Oh, yeah. And thank you very much, man. Very appreciated. Very kind.
Well, I just hope your girls like it.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they will.
Yeah. So, yeah. What do you think of all this space stuff? What's your opinion?
I mean, overall, I've always been a very skeptical person. So, I don't know. I've seen some like anomalies with NASA and everything, and different things, especially even that mouse running around in the thruster. You know, what I mean, things like that. Like, I don't know. Like, so I question things. Even like when they're acting like they're like in anti-gravity or something. Like you see like strings kind of pulling on their outfits or something every so often. Just
really?
Yeah, you haven't seen things like that?
No, maybe a while ago. I think I did see something like that a long time ago.
I'll have to send you something. I just seen it the other day too. If I can find it, I think I seen it on Facebook. A friend of mine posted it. I'll see if I can't find it again and throw it to you,
Okay.
so you can get and check it out.
All right, that sounds cool.
I mean, I like the idea of it and everything, but I'm just skeptical still.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm quite like flat earther, but I've been kind of even researching all that too. You know what I mean? Just taking it as a question. You know what I mean? Like I've seen questionable evidence of that too. Like most of the point, you can't really distinguish exactly 100% sure what is real and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even kind of like what Red Hot Chili Peppers said, like it's made in a Hollywood basement. You know, or Space is the Final Frontier was made in a Hollywood basement. Like, I don't know. Not saying there's truth to that, but
Well, now Stanley Kubrick was tasked to do some shots. He was reluctant at first, but he did do some shots for the Nixon administration because they were about to land on the moon and they were sending this photographic equipment up there that had never been tested before. And they were and they're not photographers, right? These astronauts. So they were worried, okay, what if they goof up? What if they, the film falls out and they don't, or what if the camera malfunctions and we won't have any record of what we did? And so members of his cabinet convinced him that they should do this. And there was even a meeting with all of them, Alexander Haig and some other people from his administration. And they were talking about it, how they were discussing it. And it was final decision was, you know what, let's just do it because we can't achieve something like this and not have anything to show for it. So that's why they did it. And then lo and behold, the cameras worked. However, they were crappy pictures because they're not photographers and the cameras weren't that great. And so when they laid out all the pictures to show the public, they let's lean towards these ones because they look better. So they ended up using them. Now, if they had not used those and just used the ones generated from the moon, I don't think anyone would ever say that it was faked because that was the sore thumb that was sticking out that everyone kind of pointed at and said, ha 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 ha, you faked it. But you can you can get yourself a high-powered telescope and you can aim it at the moon and you can find like all 5 or 6, is it 5 or 6 landing sites? And you can see them. You can see the craft that's there still. You can see the rover marks, the tracks the rover made, and the rovers that are still there.
Oh man, I would be very interested in that because
You can
I even even when I was young, I like that was one of my Christmas wishes or something. Like I'd really like a telescope. Like I tried kind of messing with it and everything, but it wasn't like a very high dollar one, so I couldn't really see it too well. But yeah, if I could get a higher resolution, like great one these days, that would be awesome. I would like that. It's always like enticed me and I don't know, made me excited and
Mhm.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I've shown that before on the program here.
Do you know what episode it was? I did check out a couple of your other ones in the past or whatever.
Yeah,
But
I don't know.
I understand. You probably lose track of it after a while.
I lose track. I walk into another room and I forget what I was going for. It's not
I've
fun.
been there, buddy.
Yeah, doesn't get any better.
Huh?
So I'm thinking about, styling each room identical to each other. That way I won't walk into a different looking room. And maybe my memory that probably won't work.
Huh.
Probably
That's
won't.
an interesting thought.
I don't
I
want
don't know.
6. I don't want 6 kitchens anyway.
Right. Well, I mean, you won't go hungry, I guess. So that's always good.
Well, it doesn't mean there's any food in it. I just cleaned out my fridge and I had some science experiments going on in there, I guess it seemed. But after I cleaned all that stuff out, boy, it's kind of empty in there. Maybe I should put it all back in and make it because it looked like I had food,
Right.
That's just as important sometimes. Yeah.
So I even wanted to touch on that Twitter thing a little bit. I got part of that purge too, and
Yeah.
I mean, like, I didn't really post anything out of the blue. You know what I mean? It was just more of like posting of like questioning things. I didn't really comment on it. Like, this is for sure what it is, Like, I don't even know why I got banned, honestly. I didn't
Yeah.
really post like anything directly involved with Trump or we'll say 17
Mhm.
for good purposes here.
Yeah. Right.
So I don't understand why it even happened to me. Like,
Well,
I
there's
don't know, like Facebook and Twitter like banned me at the same time. Like my old Facebook account for like 10, 12 years, whatever it was. I was kind of upset about that.
wow.
I mean, I already had a backup Facebook account because I was already getting kicked off for different things I was doing. So,
Yeah.
like, oh, well, I still want to chat with people. And so this will be my sub account. But
Right.
once this one goes, I'm done with Facebook too. Like,
Yeah.
honestly.
The Truth Social is coming out. You know, the new Trump thing. They're aligning themselves with Rumble, which I think is a good idea.
Yeah.
Rumble's a good.
There's also Odyssey too. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I know my buddy Red Pill 78 streams on Odyssey. Have you heard of?
Okay, cool. Yeah,
You've heard?
yeah, I know him.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, I met like you and like heard of him from Larry of Sirius or whatever.
Oh, Alara. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's how I caught your channel and everything.
she's cool. Did you see my interview with her?
Yeah, yeah, that's how I caught it. I think she was like at the end, like, hey, yeah, shout out your thing and shout out your channel. I was like, hey, yeah, Adam, like I liked your conversation and she had with her. So I was like, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a great little. They got some cool shows that they do.
yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so looking forward to seeing some more from them. But yeah, interesting guest, and boy, she caught a TR3B, and if you go on our channel, you can see the book.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like a few of them. I was like, dang.
Yeah,
Like I guess the only thing, okay, I'll tell you like my experience I had like a long time ago. I think this was like 2004, 2005 or so.
okay.
The city I live in, this was under the Bush era and we were about to go to war with Iraq and everything. And do you remember that like that top 10 terrorist list or whatever? Like top
Uh,
10 cities where they'd be like under attack or something like that.
okay.
Well, my city was under the top 10. I mean, we weren't first one or nothing, but we do have like a Raytheon here. They're like a defense contractor and everything. And there's another plant called Dana that they make different military parts and stuff. But so I was kind of like, okay, well, like kind of keep your guard up type thing. But like me and my friend were sitting out in the car one day and like I just happened to like see this thing just shoot by super fast and it was silent and it was like cigar shaped, I would say. Um and it didn't make any sound, but it had like a little thruster, but it wasn't like fire. It was really weird. It's kind of orangish, but it was moving super fast, like faster than like a jet would. So I was like, whoa, like what the heck was that? And then like right afterwards, there was like two Apache helicopters following it. And I ain't never seen either one just flying through the city. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what the heck's going on here?
Wow.
So it was kind of like my experience. I did catch something else on my cell phone, but it won't take a charge no more. Like the battery just won't do it. If I can get it to charge somehow, I'll try to send that even to you. Um,
Can you put a new battery in it? I mean,
no, it's like integrated. Unfortunately, it was like a ZTE. So, um,
I used to sell cell phones back in the day, but
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna try to do something, or at least even try to like plug it in somehow to the computer and like
yeah,
abstract the data from it
yeah.
because I know a thing or two about computers, so I might be able to do it. I just been lazy to do it. But
What kind of image did you get?
it was like, okay, it almost looked like as if you were gonna shoot like a Roman candle in the air, right?
Okay,
But they just like kept going. And it was like a like orange color. It was like three, four, five of them. They were moving super fast.
shooting off
Because
spark.
like it just looked like a little orb basically.
Wasn't
I
shooting.
mean, I seen like two or three, and like that's why I was like, you know what, I'm gonna videotape this. Like, like and I like bust out my phone and started recording it. So I seen like a few more before that, but if I can get it going, I'll send it to you
Okay, all right,
for
that'd be great.
sure.
Hey, Peggy Dancer, and I saw another name up here. Um, where is it? Cajun Jules. Welcome to the program.
Hey, welcome guys.
Yeah, everyone's We're all friends here. And Peggy Dancer, yeah. I think I just said Peggy Dancer.
Yeah, I try to greet everyone. If I didn't say like welcome or hello, like don't blame me. I try.
I know. I know. Everyone's pretty pretty nice. Very nice in our chat. We got the best chat.
Yeah, yeah. I like the vibes here, you know. I like it. It's very chill. Everyone's
Thanks.
very
Thanks.
friendly.
We need a place to hang, right?
Right?
We need
Also, weirdos that think outside the box, we gotta congregate somewhere.
Someone's asking about Captain Kirk. I have Captain Kirk up here. He keeps jumping on my spacecraft every time I take off. He wants to go into space so bad every day. Since he went up there and he can't, he just, I tell him I can't let him in now because the vapor lock, he's just stuck there. He's stuck there, but he seems to be age regressing because he looks like he did back in the Star Trek days, back in
Yeah. Yeah,
1966.
maybe you did like a time loop and he's trying to get back to the final frontier, you know?
That's right. That was a great show, and I loved that show. And that show really, for me, it was a godsend to me because
Mm,
I grew up. I'm a kind of an older kind of a guy, and
right.
when I was a kid and we were in school, we would have tornado drills, we'd have fire drills, and we'd have nuclear bomb drills.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing pictures and hearing about that. Yeah.
It was so frightening, so frightening. I would always
Mm.
like practice interesting poses because I want to leave a really cool shadow. But but
Give you like your classmate bunny ears on the way out.
it frightened me so much to think that at any moment the whole world could be destroyed. It was so horrifying to me that when in 1966, when I was a kid and Star Trek came out, it blew me away because it showed me an image of the future where not only did we survive, but on that deck of that ship was every race of person and even an alien. Like we're all getting along. And I thought, this is the future that I can believe in. And it was so much different than what was the fear-based trauma that they put us all through in school. And I got to say, what's happening now in schools should never happen. They're having these active shooter drills. That is horrifying. Even if
Yeah.
it's just a drill, they should never do that. You're damaging these kids. They're damaging these kids. And,
And even like throwing mask on them and stuff and like, hey, like, like wash your hand, like do this and that, like, something like might kill you. Like, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's a
yep,
little, it's
yep,
intense and it's dangerous for
yeah,
like the
it is.
psychology of the like
It,
growth of the mind of a child.
it is. And you know what else is horrifying what they're doing to children's minds these days?
Oh
Is
yeah.
They're saying, oh, you can be any gender you want. And that is
Yeah.
just ridiculous. Yeah. If
Or
you
even
want to
critical
change,
race theory, like that too. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't even thought of that. Like, you know what I mean? Like second grade or something. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't have been thinking about some critical race theory. Like, are you sure that you're this? And maybe you're better than this person. Like, did you ever think of that? Like that's dangerous too. Like
it's
the
all there,
whole educational system I think needs to be like tore down and rebuilt.
of
Like in like
course,
in like
of course.
and if anything, the federal government needs to step out of it from state to state. And I think parents almost need to have more of a say in it
Yeah,
also.
they
You know
do.
what I mean? Instead of like did you see that article where they're gonna like send in the feds to like parent teacher or the parents coming
Horrifying.
into the conferences or to the board like
Yep, yeah,
the
well, yeah,
yeah.
fine institution that it is. Yeah, it's horrifying, and they should also be filming, live streaming every class so the parents can watch it, archive it all, because you should be able to look in and see what your kids are being taught at any moment.
See, I don't know if I'd go that far because
I do.
hackers could come in and then it could be like some weird stuff You know what I mean?
Well, maybe you'd have
Like
to
maybe
blurring.
like film it like hard wise like we used to, you know what I mean, like on a VHS damn near, and then upload it and then like send it to the parents. I'd be down for
There's some
that.
kind of encrypted way they could do it. There has to,
Yeah,
but
like
just
it.
to have something so that there's some kind of transparency. As long as we have the technology, we might as well use it. You
I
know.
agree. I agree.
And with the satellite technology they got now, they can track anything. I mean, they could solve every crime. Oh, uh,
Oh yeah, they just don't want
First
to.
First National Bank was robbed at 3 o'clock. Oh, let's rewind the satellite imagery. Oh, there's a white van. Oh, it drives over to this cabin over here, and this red car goes over here. And you could solve every crime,
Straight up.
right?
They just don't want to. That's the problem.
Because they're the criminals in a lot of
Exactly. Yeah.
cases. If an evil criminal wants to infiltrate something and they have a bunch of friends to help them, it's going to happen. And so but I think the era of deceit is going to be a distant memory soon, hopefully, because everyone is gaining this kind of inner awareness of other people's intentions, thoughts, and emotions. I mean, it's getting easier to know what someone's thinking just by looking
Yeah,
at
it's like a collective consciousness of like people's
it.
intentions and like personalities. Yeah. Like I
Yeah,
agree. I
yeah.
agree.
And the closer we get to that, I think the closer we get to, a harmonious, because we all basically want the same thing. We want our kids to grow up in a world that was better than what we had. And we want them to live long and be happy and prosper and just be happy. So we all want the
I
same.
agree. I say like almost like I'd even be down just for like a state to state government. We could just get rid of the feds altogether,
But we
honestly.
do we do have that. We are the United States, and the states do have most of the
Yeah,
power.
but I'm just saying like even like okay, maybe have like a small Congress, a president, and everything else. But like Congress is way too big. Like it's a joke. They be writing these large bills that you can't even read. You know what I mean? Like make it understandable and everything else. Don't make 1,400 page bill that no one wants to read all that crap and make it. I mean, I've sat there for nights on end and like read bills that was like 200 page long, and then I try to warn people, like, do you see what they're trying to pass right now? And it was almost like no one cared at the same point. I'm like, are you
Right.
serious? This will affect you. Like, well, it's not affecting me now. Like, it's like those sleepers, you know what I mean? Or like normies, whatever you want to call them. Like, well, if I go to work, if I pay my taxes, if I do these things, I'll be okay. It's just, it's very unfortunate in a sense. It's like they don't care for the future. Like,
Hmm.
well, I sent my kid to school today. Like, everything's fine. I got food on my table. I don't really care. I'm
Yeah.
like, but what about the future of everything? Like, couldn't we do better? Like,
Right.
I don't know.
Exactly. You know, hey, Bruce Wayne, and hello also to who else is up here? The Brooklyn Way. Yeah, and Bruce Wayne. Hello. Welcome to the family here. We're all in
Welcome.
Brooklyn. And I'm going to share again my amazing, miraculous discovery.
Okay, cool.
And I think this is the image it came from.
Oh, yeah, that thing in the background, even to the right there.
No, that's something too, but I think that's just panels part of this thing, you know.
Oh, okay.
But it's right here. Do you see it?
Yeah, yeah, right in the middle. Yeah.
You barely see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, now this picture here has already been brightened. It's already been brightened to the max. But then you save it, and then you can brighten it up again, and then this is what comes out. And there's that image, that thing, that
Yeah,
space station. Look at that.
that is weird.
Isn't that bizarre?
It almost kind of looks like the thing that you showed last time. You were talking like the Soviet
It is.
thing
It
or
is.
whatever. Yeah.
This is the same one, but I'm just showing you the original image. So now I'll
Oh,
show
okay.
when I zoomed in on it and sharpened it up, and it came out to look like this. And this is I think the clearest shot I have of it. So there it is.
Interesting.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Yeah, it almost looks like it's taking off or something. Like,
Yeah, docked or something.
mm-hmm.
But this doesn't go straight. It kind of goes down a little bit here.
Yeah,
So
kind of. Yeah, it's a weird shape.
yeah, it's straight here, but maybe at some certain angle. Maybe that's what we're seeing. But
Maybe that's even like a mothership and there's like an antenna going out or something, right? I don't know.
well, I think we've pretty much figured out that these are probably solar panels right here and here. Now,
Oh yeah, I got you.
I've been looking at Soviet and Chinese and SpaceX rockets and stuff, and I've not seen anything that looks like this, that's pointed like that. But a lot of them that have this configuration of paneling.
What about even that thing off to the right there, like right where you're at, right there, where you
This,
were at? No,
this
like, yeah, right there where you
here,
were at. No, up top, like up
here.
top a little bit to the right. Yeah, like what's that? I mean, have you heard of like the direct energy weapons at all or anything
Yeah,
like that?
yeah.
I mean, what if it's something like that?
Well,
It looks like a little like mechanism, like almost like a barrel, if you will. Like I don't know. Mm.
I don't know.
Looks
It's
like it connects there at the bottom or something. Almost looks like it kind of even comes at an angle. Yeah, like it
it
would
looks like
go
a
at
dot.
a degree like difference, like probably a good 20-degree difference or something. If it landed back on there, it would point down like at least like a 20-30 degree difference. You know what I mean? Mm.
This right here, this angle.
Yeah, like if that left foot and the right foot of like the top craft came back onto the bottom craft, it would kind of point down at an angle, like
Okay.
point back up. Like I know I'm trying to do it with my mouse, but I can't. Like the top craft towards the bottom, like in the middle, like you see the feet of it. Yeah, like those two. Like if those two connected back down, like see how much like further down that one would be, like to the right, it would be like it would point down. Like if they both hit the bottom of it, it would point downward. I think that's kind of interesting.
Hmm.
I don't know,
Yeah,
but I mean,
I,
I was into like fabrication, so like all the degrees and stuff, I can kind of almost see like by eye.
yeah. I was an industrial designer too,
Nice.
and I worked with engineers and all kinds of people. But
Yep. Yep.
yeah, the way I
Nice.
see this is, I think the way I'm seeing it is, this is obviously a Winnebago. Here's the wheel right here. This is your Winnebago. No,
Mm-hmm.
I think this is some kind of space station or a large ship, and this is
Mm-hmm.
another large ship, and they're docked for some reason.
Oh,
And
okay.
the idea that it's some clandestine thing might not be. Maybe it's some ship that's going to be docking with the ISS. Maybe this thing
Could
will
be.
undock from that one and come over and refill its fuel or deliver its package or whatever it's got to do. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
maybe there's like multiple ISSs or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, there probably are. There has to be some backups. Now, according to Corey Good, I don't know if you're familiar with him or not.
I don't believe so.
I did do an interview with him. So if you look back on my archives, you can find the interview with him. But he
Okay.
claims that he was in the secret space program, in the 20 and back program, where you serve 20 years, you can't contact anyone on Earth, And after 20 years, you're asked, okay, do you want to do another 20 and back, or do you want to go back? And if you choose to go back, then they age regress you, chemically age regress you, and then they time regress you back to moments after you left. So your family didn't even notice you were gone because you weren't. And they,
So it's almost like a time travel,
yeah,
almost like in a
yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's something that the extraterrestrials are giving us access to so that we can help to fight this scourge in the galaxy, apparently. Who knows?
Hmm.
But so, yeah, he said that, there's different levels of secret space programs. Like the lower level one is like the ICC or the MIC, uh, min, uh, military industrial complex secret space.
Okay.
And they're maybe only 50 years ahead or 75 years ahead of us, but they do have some advanced equipment and a better space station and whatnot. And they're told that you guys are the tip of the spear. This is the most cutting edge stuff, way better than the civilians have. But they're not, because they're the lower level secret space program. But if like one of the people in the lower secret space program sees an advanced craft go by, he'll ask his boss or his captain, "Hey, I just saw that. What is that? That ship? Is that alien? Oh no, that's something we're working on. It's a top secret craft. Don't talk about it." That's how they shut them up. So
Got you.
so it's all compartmentalized, and it's actually working out quite well for them, because now that they're doing a little bit of limited disclosure, they'll just disclose the MIC secret space program that has, the little shuttle. You've probably seen it. It's like a mini shuttle. They claim it's unmanned, but it can be in orbit for months at a time, taking pictures and whatever it
I
does.
mean, like I've seen all different types of styles of shuttles and stuff. Like I said, I've seen the one I even seen or whatever. I don't know if it was manned or unmanned. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I've seen the circular one, seen the TRBs, like TR3Bs or whatever. I mean, not personally, but I've seen it like videos of it.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I don't know that there's quite a few. I mean, I've seen them shooting out of the ocean, like seen them shooting out of like, the west, like Arizona, Montana areas, like out in the mountains. I don't
Wow.
know. Just videos, just videos. I'm not saying in person. I only saw the one in person, the weird video I seen, which might have been something that I videotaped, but
Interesting. Interdasting, as the Anons would say.
yeah.
One thing that the Anons do, and I just think is fantastic, is the moment any story breaks and the name of the person gets out, boom, they got all the goods on them. They've screenshotted all of their social media before they can delete it.
hmm
That's just, and they destroy the mainstream media narrative every single time.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
I've done it a few times too, even with the CDC releasing certain data or something. I started kind of taking some of the data and screenshotting it for later.
yeah,
Then they'd like change it and they change the whole entire website and they're like, see, this isn't this. And I'm like, oh, see, this was this. Like I didn't alter it. Like you can take it to a freaking professional and see if I altered it. And I promise you I didn't. Like, and then they just like, well, dang it. Like I don't know what to believe now. Like, well, like I'm trying to tell you, like you're being lied to. That's all
yeah.
there is to it.
And according to Corey Good, he claims that in the secret space program, they're using a different kind of physics and a different kind of mathematics, a kind of a hyper mathematics that was given to him by extraterrestrials.
Like quantum mathematics, quantum
It's
physics.
hyper mathematics, they call it,
Hmm.
and
Maybe it's even a step up above that. Who knows?
and he said he was stationed aboard this scientific vessel for the first part of his stint. And one of the things they did was they sent a probe into the sun through a sunspot. And the probe was like shielded from the heat, so it could make it inside the sun. And it went inside the sun, and what they found was it was a lot cooler inside the sun, and it was kind of hollow in there, and there was a core, and there was like, it's an electroplasma sun. It's not a ball of burning hydrogen and helium like they say. It's a plasma electric sun. And he claims that all suns, stars, moons, and planets are all connected by this very thin electromagnetic filament that they call the cosmic web. And they can actually use that they can enter that cosmic web and travel to far-flung galaxies. But since everything is moving, they have to use this hyper mathematics to calculate when to enter the stream so that they can get to the destination they're going to. Because, you know, everything follows the path of least resistance. So as the planets are moving, these filaments are moving, and you have to plan it just perfectly so that you can travel through there. Utterly fascinating. He said they also found life forms in the upper atmosphere of Jupiter, plasma life forms. And
wow.
Yeah, they tried taking a sample in and it just died, and they tried to get another one and it showed preservation of species because it would like move away to prevent from getting caught. And they feed on the
it's like
radiation.
Like plasma space fish or something.
Yeah, plasma life forms. He said that they're so different from the life that we know that we're going to have to reclassify what we consider to be life after they discovered that.
What?
Also, they discovered some aquatic life in this solar system beyond Earth. And that was in one of the ice moons, I believe, of Saturn or Jupiter. And it's, what was the name of it? I can't remember the name of it. I always forget the name of that moon, darn it. It's not Enceladus, it's the other one. I can't remember. But
I couldn't help you here, buddy.
Yeah, it's at the tip of my tongue. Maybe the chat knows. I bet Austin Morris knows.
I mean, was he ever like on Gaia?
Who
you're talking about?
Oh yeah, he was Cosmic Disclosure with David Wilcock.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I might have seen him then because I did watch some of that. I did like sub to that for a month or so, and I was watching some of that. Yeah, and I was watching that with. I did like that type of stuff. That's what kind of rung a bell there when you said that.
Okay, so he's coming out. A good friend of mine, Stephen Anthony Cefalo. He's a fantastic artist, and he's working on a graphic novel, and they're almost finished with it, 120 pages. So
Nice.
I was getting that. It's beautifully done. I mean, this guy is like top notch artist. It's freaky how cool it is. So
Awesome.
And they're going to use that to launch their TV and movie series and everything. So it's going to be spectacular, because he was told by the Blue Avians and the Sphere Being Alliance that he needs to get this message out to the public.
Yeah, Austin asked moon of Jupiter or moon of Saturn.
Yeah, I can't remember, but it's one of the ice moons.
Okay.
It's one of the ice moons that they've seen plumes of water shooting from. Oh gosh, it's right in the. It's not Ganymede. That's.
I'd almost say Jupiter. I mean, I would almost guess Jupiter.
But the name
between the two.
The name of the moon. Let me see. I'm gonna do a quick little. I got the whole intranet here. I forgot for a second there.
Yeah, switch back to the chat there for a second. So,
ice moon. I'm just gonna put ice moon, and
I hope you guys are all doing well. By the way.
Yeah, I can't do much in the chat either when I'm talking.
Right.
Let's see. Ice moon. It's talking about ice on the moon. I guess I didn't. Ice moon. Jupiter? Okay. It's going to be like a, oh, yeah. Wow, they're not really.
He said Jupiter's big moons are
Europa.
Ganymede,
Europa. That's it.
Europa. Yep. He mentioned Europa also. Good job, Austin. Good
Yeah,
job. Give you props for that.
they found all kinds of life, and that's one of the questions I asked Corey because I was always curious about that. In the show, he mentioned that they found a dolphin or whale-like creature under the ice of Europa.
Oh yeah, I
And
think I did watch that. I think I heard that or something.
and so I got to ask him the question that's been burning in my mind ever since is, was there any other life? He said, oh yeah, he's very similar to the multitudes of life that you find deep in our own oceans with no light, because no light reaches there. So it's all the kind of same kind of, little creatures running around it. He said that there's not much oxygen, and because it's ice covered, so that these mammals that are under the water there, they're mammal life. They've got some kind of a way to process the oxygen, and they go up to little pockets in the ice to breathe too. So apparently they found an abundance of life under the ice. So
Nice.
we're not alone here in this solar system. We got the plasma beings on Jupiter. We got the dolphins and narwhals over there, and the little jellyfish and whatever kind of else life is, hot spring life.
Yeah, I mean, like I've even like questioned, like like why do we not know about, how much do they say that we know about the ocean, or how much have we discovered of it? Like,
Very little, very little.
so like why? So we can like discover space, but we can't discover the ocean. Like we can't make something that can take the impact and the pressure under the ocean, but we can like shoot something up like millions of miles away.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems, see, this goes back to my skepticism of everything. You know what I mean? Like, so we haven't discovered here on Earth, but we can say that we discovered everything up there.
Yeah,
It just seems a little weird, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, what we know is eclipsed by what we don't know. So there's so much to know.
right. Oh yeah, there's a lot to know. Like we're never gonna know everything ever, I don't think.
Well, I beg to differ with you, because
Okay.
there was a point in my life where I did know everything, and I got to tell you, it was very disconcerting. It was not fun to know everything. It's kind of boring to know everything. And once you know everything, you can't discover anything, and then that's a whole thing that you can't do. So
Interesting.
yeah, because it was only for a brief, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, I experienced this when I was out of my body. I knew everything. I had access to knowledge that I didn't remember that I already knew.
Was
So
this like a LSD trip, or was this
no,
like
no,
or like an outer body experience
out
type
of
thing or
body. Yeah,
something?
it was out
See,
of body.
I've never done that. I don't know. I'm
I've
like,
only done it once, and I'll never do it again.
yeah, see, and I'm scared to do it
Yeah, I'm
myself because
scared to
I've
do
heard
it.
of different stories and I don't want to. Like I almost like shut myself off from that at all.
You
Like,
want to hear? You want to hear my story?
yes, I would love to actually.
I was living in Rhode Island, and that's another thing I wanted to say is Rhode Island's the smallest state in the union. It's only like
Yeah.
27 miles by 53 miles or something like that. It's very tiny.
Yeah.
And yet, when I lived there back in the big 80s, there was 65% of the land there was unexplored. 65% of the land. You see, we only develop areas that we build roads to. So
Yeah.
if we don't build a road somewhere, we're not developing that area.
Yeah, we're probably not messing with it. No one's trying to hike like 4,000 miles to the next highway or something, you know? Like,
And Rhode Island had like 3
not
million
that many, but
3 million people at the time, I believe, and that little tiny little space, and 65% of it is unexplored. That's freaky. But so
yeah.
yeah, I was working at Hasbro, dream job. I loved it. I got to work on the triple changer transformers. I created a girls grooming toy called the fairy tales, little birds that you could groom.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But so I was listening to the radio after work one day, and this guy was on the radio talking about astral projection. So I thought, well, I've heard of this. I didn't have any, I didn't think that it would or wouldn't work. I thought, I'll give this a try. And he said, just cross your hands over your chest, lay down, cross your hands over your chest, and relax your body. Start at your toes and relax your feet and your legs all the way up. And to relax every part of your body to the point where you can't even feel yourself breathing, and you simply sit up without sitting up. And I came out of my belly, and I was a round ball of nothing but everything. And I could see in all directions in crystal clear vision like I've never seen before, in all directions simultaneously. I was rising up at that same speed that I sat up at. And I was freaking out. And after I got a certain distance above my body, all of a sudden I remembered that I kind of knew everything. And I also realized I can go to the moon, I can go to the sun, because you don't have any feelings if you're a ball of nothing. You can go through the sun if you want to. And I could go to Jupiter, I could do all these things. And at the very same moment I realized that, I also remembered, holy crap, I've done all that stuff. It's boring as hell. And yeah, it was weird. And then there was this stream of knowledge that kind of appeared.
So I have a question. Like when you said that, like was it almost like you didn't want to come back then, or?
I'll get to that point, but
Okay, go ahead. Do your story. But
I'm
I just
still
I had to throw that question in.
I'm still in discovery. And at the time I was a scientific evolutionist. I didn't believe in spirit. I do believe now, trust me, because I have no choice. I have to believe it. But so I kept rising up, and I was focusing on my body. I could see in all directions, but I was focusing on my body below me. And I remember having a feeling of zero attachment to that body. And I was just glad to be out. And it's that moment I realized I'd lived many, many lives, maybe millions of lives, an uncountable number. And none of those lives were really registering either. I was just glad to be out of it. And I had the knowing that the memories of that body are in the mind of that body. And I wasn't part of that. It was a separation thing. I was the real me when I was out of my body. So that was weird. And then this stream of knowledge was above me. And I looking back now and thinking about over all these years, I think that might be the Akashic records. I'm not sure, but it was almost like a blood vessel in a way, of a stream, like an enclosed stream, but I could mentally pluck anything out of it I wanted to. And I plucked a white flower out of it. And it was like a white daisy type flower. And it came before me, and it kind of distilled down into its basic elements. And I had the re-knowing of, oh yeah, that's why a flower is designed that way. And I at that point I had heard of intelligent design, which I had kind of written off because I wasn't believing any of that stuff at the time. But confronted with this new information, it really changed my life in profound ways. I didn't fear death anymore at all. But then as I kept rising up, and I rose through this quarter way through the ceiling, so I could see like the dusty nails and the installation and the light fixture, but I could still see below me in the bedroom, me in the bed and the walls and everything.
Right.
After I got about a quarter of the way through the ceiling, that mix of seeing through the ceiling and still seeing below was really confusing to me, and I had a tinge of fear, and I zoomed back into my chest and it thumped. I made a sound like that. It thumped into my chest. It came out of my belly, but it thumped back into my chest. And
did you see a cord at all that was
no,
connected to it?
Cord.
No,
I didn't see any cord. I saw
okay.
it.
I've heard of some people saying that.
I've heard that
I'm
too.
just curious.
I've only found one other account.
Even in the Bible, it speaks of like a silver cord, like you know what I mean. And
I've only heard two other accounts that were like mine. One was in the book, The Alien Interview edited by Lawrence R. Spencer.
okay.
And a personal account that was told to me by Andrew D. Bashago when he was in the Project Pegasus, and he was forced out of his body. He was in a number of ways. And one of the ways they spun him on like a turntable at 33 RPMs. And at some point you just get spun out of your body.
I think I might have heard something like that.
Yeah.
I might have heard that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was your interview with him, but like, I think I might have heard him talk about that somewhere else.
Yeah, he's been talking about that for years. So
yeah.
It's very
I remember hearing that. Yeah.
Fascinating guy.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a show with him every week. On every Sunday, it was a call-in show. And it went for several months, but we'll be starting that up again in the future when things are right. So
nice. Cool.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So there you go.
No, like that's a very interesting story. Very much more than I've heard like other people say. Like okay, I'll just say like what it kind of reminded me of. I mean, take it how you want, whatever, but almost sound like the Three Christmas Ghost or whatever, you know, like from the Bah Humbug. Like what is that called? Like you know the three ghosts that come,
yes,
like Christmas past and Christmas present and Christmas future
Carol.
or whatever, you know what I mean? Like
Christmas Carol.
Yeah, Christmas Carol. Yeah, that's it. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit, you know what I mean? Like what you were describing. It was almost like we're gonna take you here, we're gonna take you here, and we're gonna take you here, and then just like slap you right back like in your like present self, you know what I mean? Like
yeah, it was freaky. But when I came back in my body, my whole body was pins and needles like I've never had before. Like it hurt. I had to rub my arms and my legs to get the blood going. So I think my heart actually did stop.
Dang.
And maybe that's why I didn't have the cord and I was just a ball. But now in
see, like in the blood leaving and your heart stopping or something, like if you feel cold and you gotta get your blood circulating, that's a very dangerous path to be going down. Like
I had no idea that was gonna happen. And I've never heard of anybody else having that happen to them.
I mean, did you like wish for it or were you asking for it or
wish for what?
Like to have an outer body experience?
Out of body experience. No, I was just simply listening to the radio and a guy was telling how to do it. Was telling you how it's done. And I just thought, well, I'll give this a try. I didn't have any feelings either way, whether it would work or not. I just thought, oh, I got time. What the heck? I'll give this a shot. And it really surprised me that it worked. And I for years, I tried to deny that it even happened to myself, that I was just imagining it. So I would spend hours and hours and hours trying to imagine being a clear ball and being able to see in all directions, I could never, ever put it together. I couldn't replicate it just by, through my thought power.
I
Couldn't
got
work.
you.
So I was just left with, well, it happened, I guess. Well, and this is a good thing, because I guess after you die, there is something else, which was a bonus for me. At the time, I wasn't believing in anything like that. We stopped going to church when I was a very young kid. And so, I was just not connected that way. And it's funny, because the more I research this field, the more it does tie back to the one infinite creator. And
Yes.
so it's quite something. And it's really something else. Now, one thing that Corey said recently, he was given a tour of these other bases, these gray aliens and reptilian bases, and some of the stuff that he talks about is just horrifying. The stuff that's going on, and so that needs to be all cleaned up, and we need to put good people in charge of all this stuff. And the bad people have been in charge too long.
Right.
And apparently there's also a galactic slave trade.
Because I believe this. I believe more like on a biblical or spiritual level, however you want to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Judaism, almost in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I try to follow the laws and rules. I can't really call myself a Christian or a Jew per se,
Mm-hmm.
but I would say that I do believe that a lot of those like texts and everything that was written are true. And if anything, if you correlate it with like other religions, it like basically says the same thing like throughout all of them.
Yeah.
But there's always that dark evil entity that will like come get you. You know what I mean? Like, and especially because like it's always like the other humans have to like sacrifice you to do it, or you can give it to, or you can give yourself to them. You can't just like willingly give yourself over to them. You know what I mean? Like if you're unwilling and you're like, no, 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 like I don't want to do that. Except for the book of Job. That's the only time that I've ever read throughout the scriptures that like I'm not willing to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and then it happened. And I don't like that bet stuff either. You know what I mean? I bet that this won't happen and this and that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
perhaps there was a reason for that. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, when they did the King James Bible, they left out many, many books, and books that talk
oh
about
yeah, yeah. Like
about
22 books or so, right? I think there's
reincarnation.
supposed to be like 88, or like
Is it
there's
Enoch?
66 books and there's supposed to be like 88 or something.
Yeah, they're
I've heard that.
probably trying to save on ink, but yeah. But also, what did they change? What to control? And
It's been changed.
one of the books they took out, I think, was the Book of Enoch, and I believe that's the one that talks about
Oh yeah.
reincarnation. So,
That's one of my favorite books actually.
with and that was taken out. So,
Yeah.
so when people say the Bible, are they talking about the one with all of the books in it, or the one with just some of the books in it, or
No,
yeah.
like I listened to a lot of it. What's the other like three or four where they're like kind of like scribes of the time that speak about the times of like I forget who it is. I'm not trying to like mispronounce it so I sound bad. I think it's like Ezekiel or something. There was a
Ezekiel,
scribe during
yeah,
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel.
And there's like one during Isaiah, I do believe. I'll have to like re-reference this. If I'm wrong, I'll have to like come back on and like correct myself because I don't like speaking like
Right.
ignorantly. Okay. Like that's, um
But
but
when I had my out of body experience, it did show me that there is something after life, but it didn't really. I also knew I'd lived other life, so obviously, it goes against the tenets of a lot of the religions. Have you ever heard of the book that was discovered in the early '60s by Billy Meyer and a Greek Orthodox priest named Izza Rashid? They found
I don't
these.
know what's the book called.
The book is called "The Talmud of Emmanuel,"
Ooh, I
and
don't know.
so
Um,
so Izza Rashid brought his friend Billy Meyer, a one-armed Swiss farmer who has photographed numerous UFOs.
I don't believe I've heard this one. Go ahead.
So he brought him to this hillside near Jerusalem, outskirts of Jerusalem, and there was this cave, sort of a cave, partial cave, and he went in there, and under this flat rock, he found all these scrolls, 2,000-year-old scrolls in a goat skin sack with crumbly resin all over it to preserve it, I guess.
Okay.
So inside were all these scrolls written in Aramaic. Aramaic was ancient language spoken by the man we call Jesus, whose original name was Emmanuel.
Okay, this sounds something like I'm not I don't mean to interrupt you, but it sounds like something that I've heard before, where it
Mhm.
was like this guy that claimed that he was gonna be like he was the king or something. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, he claimed that he was not the son of God, but he was the son of Gabriel, who was one of the celestial sons. So a lot of Christians that read this, they don't like it. But what happened was Izza Rashid was so enthralled, and he knew Aramaic, so he was going to translate it to German for his friend Billy Meyer. So he quit his job being a priest and started a little family and started to translate these scrolls. And he got like 3 chapters done and sent them to Billy. And then he was attacked. He and his family were attacked. They were killed. And either those scrolls ended up in the Vatican basement again, or they were burned. So all that remains is those 3 chapters that were translated and sent to Billy, which were the book of Matthew. But it's the book of Matthew, but with no discrepancies. Because in the book of Matthew, there are several discrepancies. And biblical scholars studied this text, and they came to the conclusion that there's like a 99.9% chance that the version of the book of Matthew in the Bible is an edited version of the Talmud. And there's like a less than 1% chance of the other way around. So it's very interesting.
You said
And
it was the Book of Emmanuel?
the Talmud of Emmanuel,
Oh,
it's spelled with an I, Immanuel, something like that, AL or something like
okay.
that. Jemanuel, Jemanuel, the JMM, Jemanuel. That was
JAM.
so.
Okay.
According to the text, that was his
Okay, I
original
found
name.
it. Oh, I even got the PDF. Okay.
Yeah, but when
Okay, I'm gonna click on it so I can check it out later. I'm
yeah,
just curious on it. I like
anyone,
looking up things, like looking
yeah,
up things and understanding things.
and but now so Billy is so they had read and talked about all of the scrolls. So Billy knows more than just those 3 chapters that were translated. And
Hmm.
he said that after the resurrection, which wasn't a resurrection, he was apparently when he was after the spear of destiny poked his stomach and released the fluids. He was showing no signs of life, so that centurion went to town to announce that he was dead. But some of his followers noticed signs of life, so they got permission to go and take the body down. They took it to that cave, and they nursed him back to health in those 3 days, in those several days. And so that's the story. Now, is it true? I don't know. It really seemed truthful to me, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, and so Emmanuel was telling people how to have a relationship with God like he had. Not that he was the Son of God, but that everyone could achieve what he achieved. So, yeah, it's very, very interesting. You know, I'm not saying that I believe it, but it has a ring of truth to it. And anything that's been touched by man has some kind of influence.
What you said like reminded me of something else, and I'm trying to find it like right now. Where he said that he was like okay, like Christ, like he was like a relationship of Christ. Maybe somebody in the chat even knows. Maybe perhaps they could help. Like a resident of Christ. He was like of Christ. He even showed like there was a tree or something that was carved and something else happened, but he found some scrolls too. Like he was like going out in the mountains and found some scrolls and did this. It's a very like unusual story that you say this, and like, it was kind of like so close to it.
In the Bible?
No, this isn't in the Bible. This is recently. Like he has like an English accent. English, I don't know, Scottish or Australian, I don't know. But I think he was from England. I don't know. But and how he has the seal and he has the seal or something. He's the real king of England and these other ones are fakes or something.
Oh
Something
yeah.
like that.
I remember
you know
that.
what I'm talking about?
I remember that guy. Yeah. I don't know
Yeah,
about
yeah, but like, but it resonated with me like, with what you were just saying, kind of
okay.
the same story. Like, I didn't really believe him at all either, but I was like, I kind of took like just a look at it, and I'm like, okay, maybe, but like, I don't know, I haven't really heard nothing from him. Like, I don't remember his name though. That's what bothers me. I hate when I don't remember like a name or something.
Yeah. The Urantia book talks about Jesus too a lot. In fact, a third of the book is dedicated to Jesus, and a third to Earth, and a third to something else. I can't remember what it is, but it's a really thick book, and the pages are just super, super thin, like a Bible. And
Okay.
it's like I look at that book and go, "There's no way I'm ever going to be able to read all of it." But I've read some of it. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. It was written in the 30s, but it wasn't published until the 50s. And the guy who wrote it was seeing a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And it was that psychologist that figured out, because he'd been talking about this work he was working on. And he realized, oh my gosh, this needs to be published. And he got it published. And so it's a very interesting book. You know, you don't know, you know, I don't know if anyone's got it completely right. I think that there's some mysteries that we just won't know until the end. Another thing that Corey said recently about this guy named Micah, and he is a humanoid that lives on a planet in our local star cluster, and they got rid of the reptilian rule 200 years ago. And as soon as they got rid of the reptilians, they took care of it, and they got rid of them. Then all of a sudden, other extraterrestrials came, and one of them was the Zulu. Corey calls them the Zulu. They're black. They look African, but they're very tall. They're very serene, and they're very consciously developed, like to a point of amazingness. And they were the first humans in our local star cluster here to begin trading with other extraterrestrials. But they did it without any technology. They did it all through their mind, through their power of consciousness. They contacted these people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's like a telepathic, like.
Right. And they also, what it meant was they didn't have any technology to be infiltrated by the AI system that takes over everything and helps the reptilians take beings over. So they couldn't be conquered. So some of the elders of the Zulu came there to Mika's planet, which is a planet like an island, a planet of islands, like, and they look very much like us, but their heads are kind of like cylindrical, like around, like our heads are kind of flat on the sides. They have kind of
Yeah.
kind of
Okay, yeah.
round heads. And so the Zulu talked to Mika's people and said, look, your collective consciousnesses on this planet have created 3 different hells. We want your permission to enter these hells so we can help to release these souls that are trapped in these hells that you've created through your collective consciousness. They gave him permission. He went in there and released all these so they could go back into the regeneration cycle of the planet, so they could be born again. And then they taught him basically the law of one, about what we are all one. So
I've read some of the law of one, like,
very interesting.
so yeah, I'm not completely ignorant on that either. I've tried to study all different aspects of everything. So like anything you throw at me, like I'm willing to listen or be like part of. Like, whoa, why do you think I even mess with hilarious serious? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not outside the game for anything. I'm down to listen to anything. I mean, some things I'm like, I'll just kind of throw out. I'm like, I don't know. Other things I'm like, okay, this sounds like it might be something, like,
Yeah.
I'm not very judgmental when it comes down to things at all. So
Right. Because being judgmental is being judgmental, right?
Yeah.
That's one of my quotes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
you're basically judging your own mentality, like being judgmental, like, in a sense.
But the idea that that a population can create its own hell is remarkable. If that's true, then so extrapolate that to this planet. If someone has lived their life and they're at the end of their life and they're looking back on their life and maybe they are perceiving that they've done some wrong and they feel like they might be going to hell, they're going to go to hell, the hell that they imagine. And that's just bizarre to me. That's just freaky. But as soon as Mika's people, were learning the law of one, they just kind of popped out of that frequency, and everything changed. Everything changed. So it's
so even in the law of one, isn't it more like isn't it more in a sense of like like if you didn't believe in anything, where you almost like remain neutral, but if you like almost was like a negative type energy, then like you downgrade a level, or maybe that's more like Hinduism, right? I don't know.
in the law of one, it's one of the tenets is we are all one, and therefore, why would I want to hurt someone else? Because I would be hurting myself.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, it's been a while since I read it, but
yeah, it's very interesting, and it's kind of leading me to think, I'm always trying to figure things out. I'm questing for truth, right? And so I think that might be partly right. Because I have a feeling that God is inside of us, and that our
that's what
soul,
I feel. That's what I feel like inside our DNA.
well,
Because there was a study done in Harvard, I would say back like in like 2010, 2012 or so, that they studied something and they said that they could find like almost like a God code inside our DNA, and it said something, and it
mm,
said like Yahweh first. It said Yahweh, like I am your creator and I love you, something of that sort.
okay,
Don't reference me, but it said something like that. That's what I read from
okay,
Harvard. Like they studied it and did this, and that's what they said.
hmm,
So it's strange that now they're trying to like change our DNA. You know what I mean?
hmm.
Like very strange. If I can pull that article back up, I'm sure it's almost washed by now. I didn't save it or nothing. Um, I promise you, I'm not lying to you though. Um, like I said, this was 2010. Like we're talking almost 12 years ago. So 11, 12 years ago, however you want to take it. I can try to find it, maybe on some kind of something or other. But like, yeah, because I found that very interesting. Like Harvard, out of all places, would say this. You know what I mean? I was like, they came out with this article, like that there's almost like a God particle in your DNA that describes you as this.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? I was like, wow, like that's amazing.
it is.
And now looking at it today, a decade later, like, and now what they're doing, like, I don't know.
But but I think, because when I was out of my body, I was not connected to any of my DNA of that body. So,
Right.
there might be something in the DNA, yeah. But I think the soul, your immortal spiritual being, your soul is
Mm-hmm.
a spark of God, kind of like on Transformers, the All Spark, right? We've got the All Spark. That's a spark of life. And Errol in the alien interview talks about how we are immortal spiritual beings in these bodies, and the only word in the English language that comes close to describing what an immortal spiritual being is, our soul, is a god.
Mm-hmm.
So very interesting. And Errol also told Matilda that he was the engineer pilot of the the crashed Roswell craft. He was a sole survivor, apparently, according to this text. That before that there was anything, before there was any universe or anything, there were just immortal spiritual beings. And these immortal spiritual beings were all knowing, all powerful, like gods. And they were very curious, and they wanted to play games, but they can't play a game if you know everything. So they started creating these illusionary spaces, and they would. Errol said that they would use all their mental power, or their power to conjure and to constantly keep reinforcing this artificial area. And if enough other immortal spiritual beings saw what that one created, then it would just
Mm.
solidify. It would
So
solidify into reality.
it's almost like deception and like illusion.
Yeah.
Like let's teach them this. Like this goes back to the book of Enoch, you know what I mean? Like let's teach them these things, you know? let's deceive them at first, and then let's give them an illusion of things. Let's teach them alchemy. Let's teach them, astrology. Let's teach them all these different things that, yeah, I mean, that's straight from the Book of Enoch. I believe it's chapter 6, if I'm not correct, like where the fallen angels like come down and teach you everything.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, then they eventually created bodies to inhabit. And when you're in these bodies, you can't have access to all your powers or most of your powers, because then you can't play a game. You can't know everything because you can't play a game. And yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting. And Errol told Matilda that their people came into this universe from a different universe, into this galaxy, and they discovered this evil empire, and they destroyed them. They conquered this evil empire that was, controlling most of this galaxy, called the Old Empire. And he said that, or Errol said to Matilda, that imagine the Nazi Germany times 1,000. That's what they were like.
All
And
right.
so they thought they had eradicated all of them, and they built themselves a little base in the Himalayan mountains. And they cut the top of the mountain off, and they replaced it with a holographic image of the mountaintop so that they could come and go, and the locals wouldn't notice it as much. But they did start interacting with the locals, according to Errol, way back in antiquity. And they told them little rhymes and little stories, vignettes, which later became the Veda texts. Some truths, some half-truths, some non-truths.
Yeah.
And Errol said that...
you see that with the Antarctica stuff, like with everything?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's something going on
there. Yeah. Okay, keep going. I'm just saying, I understand. I get it.
We could go in any number of directions here, but it's all rather interesting. And but the thing that kind of is the biggest discovery I've made is, number one, that we do have souls, we do live forever. And like Errol said, for an immortal spiritual being, there is no beginning and no end, just an everlasting now. So that's how Errol describes
Interesting thought.
And when Buddha went to, I think it was Buddha, went to go leave his body, or some Eastern philosopher like that, he was going to go and leave his body. And one of the people in the town said, "Would you please give us some of your knowledge before you go?" And he said, well, he said, when you look at a vase, you make a vase, and the vase is very useful and it's very good. But the most important part of that vase is the empty space inside. Much like a house. You build a house and it protects you from the elements, and it's made out of bricks and stuff. But the most important part of that house is the empty space inside. So he was describing what our soul is, like an empty ball of nothing, but it has everything in it. And that's what I experienced when I was out of my body. It was a ball of nothing but everything. Like
interesting.
True essence. Yeah. So yeah, it's always and the other thing is, the more I look into some of this stuff, the more it has a spiritual connection. It's always a spiritual connection to everything. And I really think that's the key to unlocking the mysteries of everything, is spirituality. Because it's like we can see
I agree.
much more. And when I was out of my body, years after, I was thinking about it, and I came to a conclusion that so when you so our bodies are kind of like a car, and our souls are kind of like the driver of the car. So like you get into your car, okay, the car is sleeping, it's not on, you turn it on and you animate it. You are animating it. You are the entity that's animating the car. You are the car's soul. And no, you're not necessarily telling the car where you're going, right?
You're
So
directing it.
you're directing it, but through some kind of other means. Like our soul can't really talk to us. It's like this weird, there is a severe language difference between soul talking and the way we communicate and learn. So that's the best analogy I could figure out, is like we are our soul is the driver of our body. And Errol also said that anything that we call life is inhabited by an immortal spiritual being. So whether it be a dog, a cat, a ladybug, a blade of grass, those are all immortal spiritual beings animating those life forms. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
And according to the law of one, there's first density, second density. We're in third density. Like first density is like microbes and little single-celled creatures or something, or bugs. Second is like animals, and then third is like us, with our awareness. But what happened was when Errol was telling a story to Matilda about being on the mountaintop, all of a sudden they were attacked. They were surprise attacked by the last vestiges of the old empire that were underground, in some underground base on Mars that they hadn't detected. And they killed all 3,000 of their members of Errol's group. And Errol said that they have been trying to get their members back, their souls of their members back, but they're trapped in our reincarnation cycle on this planet. They've never seen anything like this before in all of their travels, where when you're born, your memories are erased from your previous lives. And so Errol describes that there's these force screen traps that trap your soul. They emit beautiful light and beautiful music, and immortal spiritual beings, when they're disembodied, they naturally go towards these beautiful lights and beautiful music. And when they go into it, it slams shut and they're locked in and they can't escape. And all the energy they use to try to escape is used against them to erase their memory. And then they're hypnotically given a false directive and returned to Earth to start a new life as supposedly a new soul, but just an anesthetized soul. That's why some kids can remember their past lives, because apparently Errol said that part of their system has been damaged, this control system that was put in place by the old empire. That this was apparently set up as a prison planet for all the souls they didn't want to deal with, people they stole stuff from. Or
what is this? Where is this Ariel from again?
Errol this is according to the book, The Alien Interview by Lawrence R. Spencer. Errol was the engineer pilot of the craft at Roswell that crashed. The two or three other.
Okay, I got you.
The 2 or 3 other members died in the crash because they were had flesh bodies, but Errol had a doll body, and it didn't have any organs or anything.
Well, that kind of sounds like what's going on nowadays, huh?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting. And so yeah, it's
like
about
a
community.
cyborg or something of that nature. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
transhumanism.
Interesting. Yeah.
Terrible. Natural is the only way.
Like
Natural.
one of the old sayings is this, there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that just comes from biblical standpoint or where it comes from, but I would say there's nothing new under the sun. Like, look at the pyramids. Like we've always, even as kids and stuff, we're like, how did that happen? You know, like what the heck? Now they're giving all these like different explanations of what happened.
Hmm.
But before it was like slave labor or something, like yeah, they lifted all these things up by like rope and like these catapult looking things. And I mean, is that true? Yeah, this is why I'm a skeptic. We'll go back to what I said in the first place. This is why I'm a skeptic. How could they even create something like that to make all these things happen?
Right.
I honestly don't. I don't believe everything. I don't think I ever will.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
You can't believe everything because it's all contradictory, right?
right. That's what I'm saying.
Like you can't
Like,
believe Elvis is still alive and the ghost of Elvis. You can't believe both of them.
I mean, I I believed it until I seen you. No, like,
Yeah. There
I'm
you
just
go.
kidding, buddy.
I do Elvis show. I do Elvis shows. Yeah.
Oh, hey, do your
Somebody
thing,
has to.
man.
Somebody has to.
Hey, I just thought I'd give a good laugh out there for that.
Yeah. 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 We sure had a good time on Monday, didn't we?
Oh yeah, for sure. We're having a good time tonight.
Yeah.
We discussed a lot of random wild stuff.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we kind of went off on tangents
Yeah, we
and
did.
I like talking about this stuff, but just because I talk about it doesn't necessarily mean I believe all of what I'm saying. I'm just
That's what I'm
hearing.
saying too. That's why sometimes I'm like, hey, like I'm not saying this is a fact or I'm not for sure about it, but this is just what I heard. It's just
Right.
this is the same type of things I've done. This is the research I've done. I don't know. I'm in the same factor on what you're saying with that.
Okay. Hey, I got another page done on my Awesome Possum book. I want to show that right
Oh
now.
yeah, awesome.
And there it is. So there he is on his skateboard. And the page reads, he can skateboard down trees and up over the creek. And he does all of these while he makes a funny squeak. Squeak.
Oh, it's cute, and I like the how fast he's going. Looks like he's like on a fast level there.
Something popped. I wonder what that was. Okay. Yeah, he's really rocking, jumping over that
Oh
rock.
yeah,
But he's very good at all those stunts. But it's how he treats his friends is what makes him so cool and so awesome. That's what makes him the awesome possum.
that's what's up.
There you go.
I like it. I like what you're
Yeah,
doing with these things, man. Like I haven't seen the book officially yet, but like
it's not
I'm
done yet.
looking forward to seeing it.
Oh
And
yeah, you'll get 2 books on Monday, and so
yeah,
those are the
I
Popple books.
appreciate it once again. I'll thank you again. Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome. And Disney actually donated the paper for those books too.
Oh really?
Yeah, they were printed at Warzella Publishing over in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, in the center of the state. And
I have a
yeah,
question though. Like, why did Disney happen to do that?
why did they do that? Because
Yeah.
Disney does a lot of printing at Warzella for their books.
Okay. They
And
just like donated to you?
so what happened was the person who was at the company helping us to get this done, he contacted Disney and said, "Hey, these 2 people have this project here. It helps the children's hospitals, and they're doing this book, and you have all this paper left over from a recent run. Um, would you want to maybe help them out by donating a paper? And they said, sure, yeah, let's do that. So they did.
Nice.
Free paper.
Hey, I'll take some free paper. Like, no, I mean, I even used to work for like a book company where we were printing books and stuff, a factory down south from where I worked, but I used to drive down there and make them.
Wow. What kind of books?
All types of books, more published books and stuff. A lot of college books from Pearson. I
Yeah.
remember Pearson was one of the main ones. We actually printed one from one of the Harry Potter books that was coming out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's in Kindleville, Indiana. Was where it happened. I'll be honest.
Kindle? Kindle?
Yeah, Kindleville, like
Is that where Kindle
Kindle.
started? Did Kindle start there too?
Kindle what? Kindle Oil?
No, Kindle, like the Kindle readers that you can read books on.
No, I don't. No, no, no. It's not spelled the same either. No,
Oh, okay. All right.
no. No, I think Kindle Oil, like from like back in the day, like 20s, 30s, 40s or something, came out from there.
Oh,
But
I see.
no, it was a book printing press, and yeah, I used to work there. And I mean, all I was doing was like grabbing books off the press and putting them on pallets, and then I went to different areas, and I actually got to see in some of the pages if I really wanted to, with the pages that weren't like perfect to go into the book. I could have read it, but it
Mhm.
was against the rules. But I didn't do it. You know, I didn't break none of the rules.
That's good.
But yeah, but just saying, like,
Yeah. Wow. There's a lot to making books. I mean, pagination and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, it was a whole entire press system. It was kind of amazing how it happened. Like sometimes there would be some bad pages, or like some pages weren't coming out right or something. You had to like kind of throw those out. I was in that too. Like taking the bad things that was about to go through. Like you had to look for it. Yeah, it was a process. It was a process. It was pretty cool to see though. Like honestly, I thought it was a pretty cool job.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
books are great, and books are where disclosure's happening in books. It has been for years. So get yourself some books. Like
I should get more like actual like physical books instead of just like doing everything digital.
that's
I have
what
a
I
lot
like.
of digital stuff.
I like real books. I don't have. I think I only have one digital book. That's that. That's this book right here. The Dorothy Izat book,
Hmm.
Contact with Beings of Light: The Amazing True Story of Dorothy Wilkinson Izat. That's another phenomenal story. Unbelievable. Sadly, she just passed away a couple of years ago.
Say it again.
Dorothy Izat. Um, she has this. There's this book about her and a movie called Contact with Beings of Light. Now, Contact with Beings of Light is the book. Capturing Light's the name of the movie, but she was this grandmother in Canada, and she had a home movie camera, and she caught so much footage of UFOs, and she had interactions with these beings, and she caught some amazing anomalies, phenomenon on her home movie camera that you can't do. Like one frame will be like there's a dot like a ship in night, and the next frame will be all these crazy trails, and then the next frame after that back to the dot. It's like there's no way you can even do that. And what is thought is that the extraterrestrials were painting with their ships, with the light of their ships, to paint a picture for to be deciphered, I guess. And some beautiful, beautiful pictures came from that. Totally undoable. You can't even fake it. So it's pretty phenomenal. And she got pictures.
Nice.
She got pictures of board craft with aliens' hands on the. Maybe I'll show you that. That's pretty cool. If you've never seen that.
No, I haven't seen it. Like you're making me do my homework with the Talmud of Mayo
Yeah,
and this. Like I've got a few websites open like that I'm about to look into later.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Here, yeah, here's that. Okay, now I gotta find. Oh,
I
those are.
I always like increasing my intelligence or like a barrier of thinking. So I'm down for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, alien. I gotta go alien. Where are they? Come on. Can't find the hands. Just had them too. Oh well, I'll show you these things. This will give you a good
Oh, by the way, I'm just now looking at the chat. Like Bruce Wayne knows what I'm talking about. Like Kindle oil.
Kindle.
Yeah.
Kindle. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Like
that's what I
he
thought.
knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Kindle, not Kindle. Ke. So here is one of the images that appeared on just one frame, and it's pretty phenomenal. You can see an image of a woman right here, like an adult woman with a
Oh,
white
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and children over here. Okay, children standing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 children or more.
Mm.
So when Dorothy had, she had a regression therapy where she remembered being this woman named Minari during the Atlantean times and wearing a white robe and helping. She helped these children. She saved a bunch of children by putting them in this cave in Italy. And people in Italy around that cave remembered that story from antiquity of a woman saving children in this tunnel. And she talked about using these firestone crystals. And firestone crystals are found deep within the earth. Some of them are white, some of them are blue. And by cutting them at the base and in certain kind of cuts, and then capping it off with some certain type of metal, you can use these firestone crystals to carve mountains and to do all kinds of things. But people were using them as weapons. So she was part of the group that gathered up all of these crystal weapons. They cut a cylindrical hole in the earth in the ocean and dumped them all in there. And there are several spots in the ocean that are totally cylindrical, very deep, that might be the repository of these ancient Atlantean crystals,
Interesting.
firestone crystals.
I must say.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so that's all from the light of a ship. And I'll show you this other picture here too. This is a good one from the 70s when she first started doing this. She met with J. Allen Hynek. Here she is meeting with J. Allen Hynek. He was, of course, an expert on these type of things. And she wanted to show him her footage. And he told her, he said, this is back in the 70s. He goes, you got something real here. He goes, keep gathering information and don't make it public until you've got enough information that nobody can deny it. And she ended up with 30,000 feet of footage. Here are some aliens through one of the windows of the craft that she took. It's fuzzy because it's home movie footage. And here's an example of the film too. So here's a dot here.
Mm-hmm.
Next, so the time frame is 0.055555. So, and then the next one is 0.11111. So here she said it was like a giant ship came really near her, but and then the next frame, there's nothing. There's no way that you can jiggle it to make this happen, you know? There's just no
Right.
way.
Well, you can kind of see something in the background, like from what you were doing earlier. Like if you like enlighten that, if you like did your thing, you know what I mean? If you
Yeah. What?
Like a little bit, but not really. But I mean, with how old it is too, we're talking like, probably like 200 what 80 pixels or something like that it was back then.
No, no,
Well,
this is
even that,
not
like,
not digital, not digital. This is analog. This is film. She she caught it on film.
I know,
So
but can't you still even change the pixels on film?
no,
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 not at all.
no, no, no. It's just little particles of silver.
No, I'm just saying, like, can't you change the particles? Like, do you even see it now where you're seeing, like, now where you have it? Like, don't you see, like, kind of like almost like a little, like, almost the coughing thing that you were talking about earlier with a little tail on it? The thing with the spaceship or the little, like,
This
on the bottom, on the bottom. I'm
here?
talking about the thing. Yeah. Like, can't you see it there? Like, right in the
No,
middle, like, right in the middle of the spaceship that you were talking about earlier.
no, I don't see it. I'm
No,
checking
okay, go back to where you were at.
here.
Okay, do one more.
This one.
No, no, I'm saying like change it one more time, like how you had it.
Change it. Okay, with the levels.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh, not that bright, but like on the frame three.
Yeah, I don't see anything there.
No, wait. Okay,
I don't know what you're talking about. Might be a speck on your screen.
might be. Okay,
There's
right there, right there, right there. That's good. Okay, frame three. You see that with the like the three things coming off of it or something
no, I don't
at
see
all? No.
anything on there.
I
Honestly,
mean, I don't have like I mean I have a high D screen and everything, and it's like I don't know 46-inch or something what I'm rolling with. I'm not working with anything spectacular. It's no UV type
oh,
stuff, but
I do see something faint now. I'm zooming in.
yeah,
I
yeah,
have it right
like
on my computer here.
so it kind of looked like this thing that was coming off that spaceship that you were talking about earlier, is what I'm saying. Like you had that spaceship thing. Oh yeah, go back to that one. See, doesn't that almost look like the same thing that was hanging off that spaceship or whatever? From
I
that
don't know.
one ISS like picture that you were saying, like you could barely see it because the wing was hitting it a little bit.
Maybe.
You know what I
I
mean? I'm just saying, like it looks somewhat like that. I mean, I could be wrong or whatever, but I'm just saying like, it just resembled that. So I thought I'd say it, you know?
You can see the pixelation, but yeah, there's something maybe right here. What you might be seeing here is that this thing disappearing, and it's just like a little bit left there before it disappeared. That maybe
Hmm.
that's what it is.
Could be.
But that's Dorothy Izad, and some of the other pictures she caught are just phenomenal, amazing stuff. Um, like I said, the hands, the alien hands on the. Let me see if I can find that. Dorothy. Let me see if I can find it here. Um, hmm. Here is here's another one of the light trail pictures that you might like. She asked the aliens, "Who are you?" And this happened right when she said that.
Yeah, I want to see this. Oh, this might be getting creepy. Because that's most of the time when it happens.
So after she said that, this appeared, and it's like a signature right here. Looks like a signature,
Almost looks like a name, almost like in a weird language.
right?
I mean, we would like take that as a Z or something at first, but I mean, who knows what it actually means?
And she said when these light things happened, they were
You
like
know what? Could you send
lifting.
that picture to me on my email? Since you
Well,
know my email now, could you? Can you
Sure.
send this to
Or else
me?
all you got, my friend Duck Duck Go keeps all of these for me. And all you got to do is look up Dorothy Izat. Dorothy
Okay.
Izat. Izatt.
I'd
Dorothy.
almost like to take that and see if I couldn't like put that into a different language or like see if it's close to it or something. You know what I mean?
Good idea. Yeah, it looks like
This is the type of like
L
this is the type of like research type of things I do. Like I'm
L
very
N
curious on things.
I J. Yeah,
I
H.
mean, we're trying to read it in English, but like I'm trying to read it in Hebrew and everything.
Sure, sure,
You
yeah.
know,
Uh-huh.
like Hebrew, Greek, like everything else.
She said that when these light things happened, they
Hmm.
would come towards her and they were like solid. They were like living lights. And
How long ago was this?
starting from the 70s and on
Okay.
in Canada.
What if it? Okay, let me just give like a wild thing out here. What if it was like almost like a microwave type feeling that she could see? You know what I mean? That she could feel it
So
also.
it's
Like
fun.
almost like a vibration or like a frequency or
Yeah. It's funny you should say that because she got sort of famous back in the early 70s when she first came out. And then after she talked to Hynek, she didn't talk to anybody after that. She took
hmm
advice. But so someone was there visiting her at her house, and they put something in the microwave and turned it on, and she said, oh, look at that pattern that's coming down in the microwave oven. It's a wavy pattern coming down." And the guy who was there visiting said, "You can't see that. I'm an engineer. I've worked on these. I know that what you're describing is correct, but there's no way you can see it." But apparently she could see it. So her eyes were
Interesting.
enhanced in some kind of way. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. And the movie, it's called Capturing the Light by Frank Longo. Great movie. See, all her life, all of her kids' lives, she was taking these movies, and their kids thought the kids thought she was just crazy. And when they made the movie, Frank Longo made the movie. One part of the movie, they were interviewing her daughter, Dorothy's daughter, adult daughter, and she was at her mother's house once, and her mother said, "Oh, they're here. Do you want to see them?" And she goes, "Yeah, sure. Why not?" She went out on the porch, and she witnessed one, and now she believes because she's seen one. But she was recounting that story on camera, and the film crew didn't notice it till they brought it back to their studio and they were editing it. While they were filming her in the kitchen, outside the window was a craft moving back and forth.
Hmm.
Is it a reflection? No, the window is open. There's no reflection. Oh, it's someone on the mountain. That's not where the mountain is. So the whole family was freaking out. Has to be something. Oh, no, can't be that. It was so funny watching them like fumble around trying to explain something that they can't explain. And then she's just smiling, like vindication after all these years. So awesome. So awesome. So great,
That's
great movie.
wild. That's wild.
It's a great movie. And just looking at these images of light can affect you. There's something living in these living lights.
Yeah,
And
it looks like a almost like a particle, like almost like if you were looking on a molecular level of things.
mhm,
So I've even looked under a microscope. This looks like something you'd see under a microscope, dang near, except for like all the little wavy line type stuff. But like the things growing out and things like that,
mhm.
yeah, you can see that sometimes, like it was like just like moving and just going by itself, doing its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some of
yeah.
the pictures look like landscapes. Some of the pictures look like beautiful landscapes of some futuristic place.
Oh yeah.
So there's
I,
some,
I didn't even really think about that. I was looking more at the main picture. I didn't think about the like backscape of it. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
does a little bit.
very interesting stuff. Here's
It almost
another.
looks like it's trying to like create something else too, like in the background of it. Like since you mentioned that, you know what I mean? It almost looks like it's trying to create another arm or something,
Yeah, I think it is.
right? Like in that back left. Yeah.
I got something else here I'll show you here.
Do you think?
This is from the book.
Hey, if you want to go through so much content, I'll get off the chat with you. You know what I mean? I'm just saying because I've been chatting with you for quite a while.
Okay, yeah, but we're going to stop the show. But take a look at this. This is from
Okay.
inside one of the crafts. This is a guard railing inside a UFO. Filmed inside a UFO, this photo shows what appears to be a railing that ran along the bottom edge of transparent glass-like cupola or dome. How do you like that? Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think
No,
we can.
I'm trying to read it as you were saying it. Um,
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a very different case, different
hmm,
from any other case you've ever seen or heard of.
interesting.
Yeah, but it's a very important one. And a couple days ago, I had
Well, were they trying to like move something? Like, is this thing like a carrier of what it's about to go into? Because that's what it looks like to me.
apparently it's a guard railing inside
Well, I
the.
mean, like, look at the square of it. Look at the square of what is in front of it, and then like look at what the size of its arms. Isn't that not supposed to pick it up or something? That's what it looks
No,
like to me.
these are poles here and like a fence, like a railing. Here's a solid part of the
Hmm.
fence. This
I'm
white
saying that little white cube there,
this
like,
white cube is just a hole in the film. That's what runs.
oh, okay.
Okay, so
I would say it almost looks like that is about the right size to pick that thing up. That's all I was saying. Like,
disregard disregard these. These are not part of the image. And in fact, they're affecting this too because it's so bright. It's making this darker. So yeah, it's a artifact of film. But yeah, that's the inside of a. I know it's not very clear, but it is
you're
the
good.
inside of a UFO. So we don't get to see that very often. So we'll take what we can get, right?
Maybe that bright ass white thing is like the energy or something then.
I don't know. I don't know.
You know?
Well, BPD, back by popular demand.
Yes.
Thank you so much for calling in again. It was very nice.
Hey,
Um,
it was good talking again. I didn't expect to talk for this long. Like I wanted somebody else to call in and win something or something. And I was like, hey, I'll call first. So then like so somebody else could like be second or third or something.
no, someone already won. You don't have to worry.
Yeah. It's all
Operation.
good then. It's all good.
I like that name. Operation Shutdown. Hey, and have you ever heard of the Vectrex game system?
What
That's
is it?
Vectrex.
No.
That's what I have. It's an all it's all in one unit that has the TV screen built right into it. It's from 1982, 83. And
What?
yeah. And it has cartridges you can put in. You can play Tank Battle. You can play a game that's very similar to
So
Asteroid.
it's like an Atari built-in system or something?
It's like an Atari, but it's got its own screen. It's got its own vector graphics.
Okay,
And
I know.
plastic sheets to fit over it to give it color because it's only one color. But so what happened was they came out with it in 1982 or 83, and it was $100, but Atari was $25 at the time. Now Atari didn't come with its own TV, but this one did. but it
Okay, yeah, no, okay. I know
it
what you're talking
tanked.
about with Vector.
It,
Yeah, I
it
know.
it tanked and it never made it to the market. It was only in the JCPenney catalog. Only a few of them sold. And in fact, Milton Bradley gave all the stock to their employees because they couldn't sell them. They were too expensive. But mine
Dang.
still works great. So yeah,
Oh,
I,
that is awesome. That is awesome, actually. No, I do remember Vector now that you're talking about it.
but it never really was in the market though. But you can still find it on the internet.
No, I've heard of it. I never actually seen one in person or nothing, but
They work
yeah.
well. They work really well, and the gameplay is awesome. And I remember when my son was younger. He's older now. He's got two kids of his own. But when he was younger, some of his friends were over, and I showed him that video game. When at the time Xbox and PlayStation were big, and these kids liked this better. So basic gameplay is basic gameplay, right? So who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I don't know, like I grew up actually with more like Nintendo. Like I
I
was
had
right around Atari. Like I'm 35 years old, so
okay.
um puts you in the age range. So like I seen a couple of Ataris and I was like, that's pretty cool that you can do that on a TV screen. You know what I mean? Like that's where I was at in that age. I was like, wow, that's cool.
Mhm.
Like, but then Nintendo came out and then everyone had a Nintendo. Well, like, well, thank China and Japan for that one. But
I had
you
the
know
one
what I mean?
robot.
Like,
I had the robot. I had the deluxe Nintendo with the robot. I was working at Tonka Toys at the time, so I was making some pretty good money, and I bought that thing. It was pretty
nice,
cool.
nice, man. Yeah, I knew you were talking about, yeah, you worked at the toy factory.
Hell yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 59.
59. Well, you look good for your age, sir.
59 and feeling fine.
Hey, that's even better. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
What I do now is I add the digits together. So what, 5 + 9? I'm 14. That's my actual age.
Okay. Well,
New
we can
mathematics.
even add those together and now you're 5.
There you go.
That's even better. That's even better, man.
I can't drive now though. That's the only problem. I need a fake ID to
Oh,
drive.
well, dang it. Dang it.
So the last picture here is another Dorothy Izat picture of a ship rising up, lit up for her, so she could
Hmm.
photograph it.
It's a very interesting picture also.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Demand, it's been a pleasure. I think we're going to wrap this baby up. And everybody in the chat, thank you
All right.
so much. 1980s Vectrex systems are really cool, ahead of their time. Yes, they were very ahead of their time. They still work too, so they're built to last. But thank you very much, Mr. Demand, and I hope
Hey,
to talk.
thanks for having me once again, and thank you for your gift from a couple of days ago. And I'll let you know how the girls think about it. Honestly,
That's awesome. I appreciate that. All right.
most
Take
definitely will.
care.
All right, take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Everybody in the chat also. Take care. Have a good night.
All right. Good night. All right, everybody. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. You guys rock. I'll have to go watch the replay at some point and see what you all said in the chat so I can catch up with everybody. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. You're like my best friends. We got another book going out to Operation Shutdown. Make sure that you email me with your address and we'll get that out to you. And thanks to the mods, you guys are awesome. Keep your phone and camera to the sky so you can take that picture of the UFO, so you can be on the UFO, on the Truth Quest. And remember, you rock. Peace in